At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope everyone's having an awesome Sunday afternoon. I want to sing for y'all, but I'm not gonna sing for you guys. I was gonna sing some lighter shade of brown, but I'm not gonna do it. Not today. Maybe later on in the show, I'll sing some lighter shade of brown. Because the minute I said on a Sunday afternoon, like that was one of my favorite songs growing up. But anyways, let's jump into it. Hit the like button, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe. Got a couple of announcements. Announcement number one, we are rolling. So Sierra Leone, citizenship is back on. Citizenship is back on in Sierra Leone. They've changed the rules. They've tweaked the rules a little bit. So basically, you have to come twice now. You have to come twice now in order to get your passports. So I'm hosting a group in April and another in December. So if you're interested in joining us to start the process, please visit danfo.africa. Again, please visit danfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa. Again, that's DANFO.Africa to learn more. Please visit danfo.Africa to learn more. We're also rolling to Senegal in May, and I had a couple spots open up. So if you're interested in going to Senegal for the Jazz Festival, please visit danfo.Africa. We are also rolling to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. Then we're going to where else are we going? Zanzibar in September, and then we are rolling to Namibia and South Africa, the 2-for-1er. That's in November, and then back to Sierra Leone in December. So if you're interested in joining, please visit danfo.Africa to learn more. Let's jump into it. Y'all, reparations money. Y'all, reparations dollars. For the people who built this country. Zelenskyy got it. And don't you find it odd that so-called black leadership, they go harder for Zelenskyy. Again, they go harder for Zelenskyy than they do y'all reparations. They go holler. Listen, Zelenskyy has y'all's 40 acres and a mule. Zelenskyy has your 40 acres and a mule and then some to back him and support him in a war he wasn't going to win, and he's losing. And a lot of people were offended by the the confrontation between Zelenskyy and Trump. I think it was this past Thursday. I loved it. How dare someone who has borrowed $150 billion and then some come into your house with attitude? I think Trump and Vance handled Zelenskyy accordingly. But let's back up a minute. Let's back up a little. Remember when the war first started? And people were told to evacuate the Ukraine and evacuate Kyiv. And remember the Africans who were going to school in the Ukraine were saying that they're getting on buses, they're getting on trains to evacuate. And the Ukrainians were kicking the black people, the Africans, off the train and off the buses. Some of the African men, the Ukrainians, were saying that, hey, you got to suit up and go fight. Remember that? You guys forgot about that. Where was Zelenskyy? Why didn't Zelenskyy say anything about that? Why didn't Zelenskyy call out the racism? Our black leaders didn't say anything about it. But you got Target and Amazon. Yeah, remember? Hold on, let me find the video. Give me a second. The African students were talking about all the racism they were facing, trying to leave the country at the borders. Trying to get on the trains, the buses to evacuate. They were talking about all the racism they were facing. But where was Zelenskyy? Where was Sleepy Joe? Where was the Congressional Black Caucus to call it out? Here we go. Let's play this video.
Matt, this afternoon, the UN's Refugee Agency released the latest figures on refugees leaving Ukraine since the war began. That figure is now at 846,000 people. Yesterday, that figure was floating at around the 660,000 mark, so that gives you an idea of how quickly this refugee crisis is accelerating. I would not be surprised at all if by the weekend we're looking at over 1 million people. Over the last couple of days, we've spent time down on the Hungarian-Ukrainian border to examine the experience mainly of students from African countries coming across border crossings between Ukraine and Poland. The tiny village of Zahon on the Hungarian border with Ukraine is basically just a train station. Now, though, becoming a major transit point out of Ukraine.
Nigerian students, 50 people, please come with me.
Nigerian embassy officials are here, for example, transporting hundreds of people to Budapest, mainly students who've been walking for days. The people we spoke to said they'd come out via Hungary in order to avoid the Ukrainian-Polish border exit points to the west.
Budapest.
Suddenly, word spreads the train on platform 1 is leaving for Budapest. Even here on the border, war, too close for comfort. It's a false alarm, though. Turns out the train isn't leaving for another 4 hours, so plenty of time to hear stories of the journey to the border. Like Victor's, a medical student in Kyiv, and his friend, Allow.
I'm a brain surgeon resident.
I don't think I've ever met a brain surgeon properly before. Victor first went to the Polish border with Ukraine to the west, but says he was told by a Ukrainian border guard that the policy was 1 foreigner allowed through for every 10 Ukrainians.
They said they had a protocol for the entry to the border, and the protocol was 10 number of the
10
Ukrainian locals to 1 number of foreigners to gain entrance to the Polish border.
Did a border guard say that to you?
Yes, a few of them. The lady who works with the border guard said that.
They are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates.
Many of the students.
They are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates.
Many of the students we spoke to said they'd come south to the Hungarian border because of phone footage like this from border crossings into Poland. Videos purporting to show foreigners being treated differently by Ukrainian border guards at the long queues going west into Poland, something the UN's High Commissioner for Refugees has acknowledged was happening. Augustine's university lectures for medicine were due to start properly in March. Aspirations derailed for now by war. At the border crossing he first went to, he says there was a policy of large groups of black people being separated from Ukrainians. Did somebody actually say that to you? How do you know that that was the case?
They didn't actually say it, but we could observe it.
In what way? How did you observe that?
We saw, like, we were in a queue. At first, blacks were, it wasn't like that. We were all moving together. That it got to a time, blacks were somewhere else, and other white color skin were also somewhere else, and they were actually moving a little bit faster. The blacks weren't going at all.
Did they separate the queues?
Yes.
So black people were in one queue and white people were in another queue.
Mm-hmm.
Black people are eventually getting across into Poland, though. But unlike Ukrainians who are being picked up by friends and family, foreign students, for example, have to wait longer at places like Przemyśl in Poland.
Właśnie odprowadzamy pana, który chodzi po Przemyślu bez dokumentów. Nie wie po co. Żadnych dokumentów.
Last night, patrols from the Polish far right confronted refugees in that town. In one case, chasing groups of black people through the streets. In normal times, people from African nations would need to apply for Schengen visas to go from Ukraine to Poland. But because of the war, there's now no visa requirement on anyone entering countries like Poland from Ukraine. In a statement, the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry said there was a first-come, first-served policy at the border independent of race or nationality. They also said that because of active fighting, they were encouraging foreign students to stay in their place of residence. This carriage is full of young Moroccans, all from the same faculty of medicine at Kharkiv University. Full of dreams dashed.
The door shattered our dreams. We don't know what's gonna happen to us. We can't know what are we gonna be a future doctors or not.
Did you always want to be a doctor?
Yes, since I was a child.
And our parents, they were very, very scared. It was like terrible.
These are not the only refugees for whom war has wrecked aspirations. That's so cool. Is that you? Margarita, for example, waiting on the platform, is a Ukrainian artistic gymnastics champion. One of the casualties of war can be the aspirations of the young, people's plans for themselves torn up, inequality accentuated. In war, in other words, some are more unequal than others.
All right, so I wanted to play that.
How are you not tired of spending your
But you have politicians telling you that Target and Amazon are the problem. Let's leave DEI out of it. All right, DEI is gone. Target and Amazon still employ more black people than all these black politicians and all of these black folks who are threatening to boycott Amazon and Target employ. I can tell you right now here, just in Metro Atlanta, One Amazon warehouse. Again, just here in Metro Atlanta, I guarantee you one Amazon warehouse employs more black people than a majority of black people who told you to boycott Amazon employ. See, Dark Migo, I will post your comment, but you said the N-word. Again, Dark Migo, I would post your comment, but you said the N-word. But I'm telling you. Benefits, 401k, salary, hourly, whatever. One Amazon warehouse employs more black people than Al Sharpton employs. Prove me wrong. I've been in an Amazon warehouse. The work conditions are very nice. Okay, that's better. I've been in Amazon warehouses. The work conditions are nice. Heated, AC, clean, brand new. Hassan, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I can take you to an Amazon warehouse here in Fairburn, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. I can take you to one in Union City. They employ more black people in just those one or two warehouses than every single black person who's telling you to boycott Amazon employs. Prove me wrong. See, you're moving the goalpost now. Yeah, but they can't unionize. You're moving the goalpost. The point is they employ more black people. But then you guys want to go out there and defend Zelenskyy and Ukraine, seeing how racist they were to Africans in Ukraine. Ain't no DEI in Ukraine. And I guarantee you, if you guys go have a conversation with Zelenskyy in regards to treating Africans better in Ukraine, he'll laugh at you. That's just the reality of it. Prove me wrong. Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. If you disagree with my statement that one Amazon warehouse employs more black people than the black people who are telling you to boycott Amazon employs, if you disagree, you're more than welcome to call in. And please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and subscribe. Yes, they treated black people like that even before Trump was elected. I agree. They said nothing. That's why all this, you know what? For people who support Zelenskyy, who were offended that Donald Trump is no longer giving him our tax dollars, allegedly. They have a soldier shortage or a military shortage. Go be a mercenary and go fight. Again, be a mercenary and go fight for Zelenskyy, for Ukraine. Right, you have the Azov battalion who your tax dollars are supporting, which is linked to neo-Nazis. But you guys don't want to say that. You guys don't want to bring that up. You guys want to ignore that part. Again, you guys want to ignore that part. I have a friend who has a felony and has been working for Amazon for 10 years. I remember when she was having a very hard time finding a job, Amazon gave her a chance. There you go. I mean, come on. But let's boycott Amazon. But complain and cry about how Trump advance handled Zelenskyy. Guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. You're more than welcome to call in. Again, link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. You're more than welcome to call in. And yeah, these Amazon jobs, you have the way Amazon is expanding. You have upward mobility. You have the chance to get promoted. And they pay very well once you start getting promoted. I mean, when you look at Target, when you look at Amazon, when you look at Walmart, like these managers are getting paid six figures. The manager at a Walmart, the manager at a Target, the manager of these logistics and these warehouses, they're getting paid. Bobby Channel, that's not true. You have the state workers. Every worker in America has workers' rights. Having rights as an employee is not limited to being part of a union. Again, Bobby's channel, having rights as an employee is not limited to being part of a union. Every employee has workers' rights. It's the labor laws. Every state, even at a federal level, there are labor laws which protects workers. All right, go ahead, Johnny.
Appreciate it, Prince Dinas. Thanks for the platform as usual.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not actually calling in to disagree with you about that. You're 100% right with everything you're saying about Amazon. It is in Amazon warehouses, it is a majority black, and the majority of the warehouses, they do pay above minimum wage, and they are fairly kept.
Right.
Real big facilities, but they take care of their employees pretty good. They got different programs for minorities and stuff. Like you said, DEI aside, I don't think it's right to come after Amazon at all. And every time you see somebody kind of saying something about them, it's not really anybody who's actually employed by Amazon. In most cases, it's be somebody who just kind of heard, a friend of a friend, or somebody who got fired for being disgruntled or whatever. But overall, yeah, Amazon is doing work, and it is keeping a lot of black people employed, either directly or indirectly, for sure.
Right. Absolutely. When I was doing sales for a company called Centos, I would actually do site visits at these new Amazon warehouses, and they're nice, and they're clean. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really no big issues. If it is, they usually get quick on addressing it pretty fast with a lot of stuff too. Yeah, it's not nothing that people is kind of making it out to be like it's some type of monster because it's not a union or it's some type of slave labor or something like that. From what I heard, and I can't say for sure, but I heard most of the employees at Amazon only work 4 days out of the week anyway. So I'm like,
I'm not sure as far as how the work week goes, but
either
way,
for
a corporate job, they're treated fairly well, if you ask me.
Yeah, I can say for sure about that on direct, like I said, indirectly and indirectly, people who work in Amazon usually do pretty well. They do a good job taking care of their employees, and then they do a good job taking care of their contractors and everybody like that too.
Right, exactly. So I was a contractor, and they did a very good job taking care of us.
But I did want to kind of talk a little bit about Zelenskyy. I think this is probably a little bit of a disagreement. So, I mean, I get where Trump is coming from, but I also get where Zelenskyy is coming from. Zelenskyy, just speaking of him as a head of state and speaking of the country as a whole, without not necessarily speaking on the racial issues and stuff, he's obviously desperate to win, and he's he's got pressure to try to pressure to try to preserve his country. And I know, I mean, I think, right? Nobody knows for sure, but from the looks of it and the way he keeps talking about what's going on kind of behind the scenes during negotiations, Trump wants him to concede land to Russia to end the war.
Well, Johnny, the reality is that land is gone. Like it's gone. Like if you've been following the war, like that eastern part of the Ukraine that Russia has taken, it's gone. Like I don't know the amount of bloodshed. You know, I don't think. And then also too, you have to take into consideration a lot of that land. There's ethnic Russians that are there.
Yeah, I understand that historical ties to Russia and stuff, and that's kind of what Zelenskyy was saying too. That they don't really acknowledge Ukraine as a different country and as a different race of people or nothing of the sort. Like they kind of undermine them, and this is true because it's not the first time he went and invaded Ukraine, and there's no guarantees on safety that will say it'll be the last time either. So I get from his standpoint, he's like, nah, I'm allied with y'all, and y'all are kind of throwing me under the bus, you know, for the enemy. Y'all can't let him just come over and take over sovereign land, you know, like this. That's not right, and it's not the first time he's done it. Like, why are y'all not fighting this dude off and trying to prevent him from doing all this?
Well, from the Russian side, they're saying that, well, number one, you shouldn't be flirting with NATO because then NATO will be at our back door, and then I think they were also saying that Zelenskyy, you know, the Ukrainian army, they were committing acts of genocide towards those ethnic Russians as well. So,
yeah, I remember hearing that too. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I mean, even if it was the case, you don't go in and just, I mean, you got to go through the UN and stuff if you want to bring up cases like that. Nobody went in and invaded Israel for what they were knowingly doing against the Gazans, you know.
Well, it's Israel. Ain't nobody. It's Israel. That's why.
True. But I think that it does show some type of weakness in our own government not to support our allies. And yeah, he did kind of have it coming with the way that he was bringing up. You know, I ain't gonna lie. It did seem like Zelenskyy he was trying to bring the argument to the public. He was trying to do that. He didn't like probably the way negotiations was going with Trump since the beginning. If you remember back during Trump's first term, when he made that call to Zelenskyy about like, man, we do a lot for y'all, and I want you to start doing something for me. You know, look into Joe Biden's son and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, this goes way back then and there and everything. Trump really don't respect him as a full head of state. Obviously,
I forgot about the Hunter Biden situation in Ukraine. I forgot about that.
Man.
Yeah,
it goes back. So ever since then, and then him campaigning. No, I don't want to say campaigning, but he kind of showed support for Biden over Trump during the war, during the campaigns and all that. Like actually going out and picking a side and not being nonpartisan. Now that Trump won, he wants to like kind of punish him for that too, you know. But they got a little bit of history that goes back with them, and I think it is a little bit personal. But at the end of the day, I get his point where he's trying to preserve his country. I mean, there might be some, like I said, some problems internally and all that. It might be Nazis, the Azov battalion and all these, but I mean, that don't give the right to Russia to just keep going there and annex. He said that they had broke peace treaties like 20 something times, just where they would just come in and just not respect, you know, what they had agreed on, and that's obvious by whatever happened. So he's saying we need more assurance to stop the fighting, you know. And Trump don't like him, you know, talking tough and everything. And he was telling him, you're not in no position to do all this or do that, you know.
Hey, let me read this super chat. Blackjack 38 $4.99. I worked at 2 Amazon warehouses in South Jersey. Negroes were habitually late or calling out, yet management was slow to fire them. So why boycott? Yeah, and what's the need for unions if you know you're gonna be? So basically, if this Amazon location had a union, you know, it would make it even harder for Amazon to fire them and discipline them for being late and calling out.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you get a good chance at the warehouse. Most warehouses, I don't think it makes sense to just ruin it by this. Yeah, I mean, there's such thing as sorry ass people, man. Tell you the truth. So I mean, you don't want to. you don't want to keep a company going down because you give somebody a good job that pays above minimum wage and they're pretty flexible, and somebody taking advantage of it by still not showing up to work, you know.
Delroy, go ahead and mute yourself. Yeah, you had some background noise, Delroy.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's better.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, this thing, you got to know the history of what happened. 2014, U.S. and NATO signed an agreement. This is the Minsk Accord. They signed an agreement that Ukraine will not apply for NATO because they don't want no more NATO country on their border. That was an agreement. Europe and America bragged, right? Especially the German chancellor, the former German chancellor. She later admitted that they lied about the agreement. They just wanted time to arm Ukraine, right? So they broke the agreement, and Russia kept warning them, right? From 2014, those Nazis government from Ukraine was attacking the eastern Donbass, which is mainly where the Russian-speaking Ukrainians live, Ukrainian citizens live. And they begged Russia for about 10 years to please come in and help them. And Putin refused because he know what would happen if they go, and they keep asking the United States and NATO to do something, and they did nothing. So it just came to, okay, fuck that, that's it, no more, right? And that's when they went in, and they went in not declaring war. Up until this day, Russia have not declared war on Ukraine.
It's a special operation.
It's a special operation. If Russia declare war in Ukraine, the place will be flattened. Okay, they made another agreement in Istanbul, right? During the war. This is like maybe 3-4 weeks after the war. I mean, when the war started, right? And Zelenskyy agreed. They signed a document saying, okay, we'll stop, right? And they made a certain agreement, right? Boris Johnson flew to Ukraine the very next week and said, no, we got your back, right? And Biden, right, the rest of NATO, right, say, yeah, we got your back. Don't worry. We're going to train you. We're going to equip you. We could defeat them. Right, and that's because the aim of America and NATO was to bring Russia down, to bring Russia to their knees. That's why they put the hardest sanction in the history of man on Russia, right? And they thought Russia would crumble. Then that's what they wanted. They didn't give a F about one Ukrainian citizen, right? They cared nothing about them, right? And the entire point, this had nothing to do with Ukraine. This had to do with bringing Russia down. But they used Ukraine. They were trying to use Ukraine to do it, right? But Russia had friends. They had China. They had India, right? They got certain countries in Africa and Asia and around the world. They had friends, right? So they were able to manipulate the sanction. Right, they were able to manipulate the sanction and survive. Yes, the economy went down. They were hurt because it was a shock. But they were preparing for it. They were preparing for it for more than 10 years. They were preparing for it because they knew what they was going to do. But America, led by Biden and his people, thought they had the upper hand. All right, they blew up during the war. They blew up the pipeline that bring cheap gas to Germany and some other parts of Europe. Right?
Who blew it up? Nobody took responsibility for that.
Of course, who's going to take responsibility for it? America blew it up.
Okay.
They blew it up. All right, they talk about, They no. Some senators said, "Oh, Ukraine blew it up." Right? That shit is so sophisticated, bro. You know what it takes to go dive down in the bottom of the sea
Right.
to blow up a pipeline? You know what it takes to do that? No. U.S. blew up the pipeline, and meaningful journalists, ex-military like Scott Ritter and so forth and so on say, yeah, nah, they blew it up. America blew up the pipeline because they wanted to cut Germany off, right? From that. And a lot of the industries in Germany moved to America in different parts of the world. Right now, German economy is like collapsing as we speak. That's why when I said on one of our last talks, I told you that real GDP, according to the World Bank, Russia is in 5th position in real GDP. All right. They still have the old statics on the last show we had people looking up. Oh, they're still showing the old value, and they're not looking at real GDP, like real spending power. Right. They like 5th in the world right now. But that's beside the point. Let's get back to the war. So they reneged on the Minsk agreement, right? Trying to get time to arm and train Ukraine to bring Russia down. Why they want to bring Russia down? I don't know. Why they fear Russia so much? I don't know. Right? It's total bullshit. But anyway, what happened with Zelenskyy? That little boy, that rat-faced puppet, right? He tried to come in there to demand, because NATO just had a meeting before he came there and assured him that they were going to back him up, right? So he came in there strong. His heart was strong, his head was strong, and thought he could have come in and tell Trump anything. But the worst thing you could try to do to Trump is try to embarrass him in front of a camera. He will F you up. Right? And the vice president was getting irritated. That's why he jumped in. And Trump was sitting there trying to stay calm and make everything look good. So he snapped. I would have done the same thing. Like, who the fuck you think you are? Where do you think you are? You in the fucking White House in the United States. Where the fuck do you think you are?
All right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why Trump got upset. Of course, the left-wing media is taking it to, oh, this is the worst. Anybody in their right goddamn mind wouldn't sit there and take this shit from some crackhead, coke-smoking Nazi puppet. You see what I'm saying? Trump is trying. I told you the reason why I voted for Trump. It don't have nothing to do with liking Trump or disliking Trump, nothing like that. I needed somebody that gonna put their goddamn foot down to stop a goddamn nuclear war, because that's what would have happened. Because if you send troops over there, right? If NATO send troops over there, including United States troops, Russia's gonna wipe their ass out. Just like if Russia send troops here on our border, we're gonna wipe them out. It's just set up like that. You see what I'm saying? So they know it, and there's no way NATO could send troops to Russia to fight Russia. They'll be all dead. And what they're going to revert to? They're going to revert to, because U.S. is not going to take an L, right? What they're going to revert to? Start pushing buttons. You start pushing buttons, Russia start pushing buttons, and that's it. It's done. It's over with. And we needed someone to step in with some goddamn sense, right, to stop this shit, right? That's why you see during the argument, Putin asks Zelenskyy, "Do you want World War III? Do you want World War III?" Right. That's what people are not looking at. You see what I'm saying? Do you want World War III? You see what I'm saying? So so the only thing was left for Trump to do is bitch slap that bitch. You see what I'm saying? That was the only thing left. The bitch slap his anthem. Trump told him to get out of the White House. They didn't show that part on camera.
No, yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, told him to leave. Get out. Who the hell you think you are? You see what I'm saying? But that's what people are looking at. That's what you keep telling you. You don't have the cards. You don't have nothing. You have nothing. Let me try to do something. You see what I'm saying? Because Putin is not fucking playing. You see what I'm saying? And they're lucky they have Putin. They are lucky they have Putin because other people in Russia is actually upset with Putin. You see what I'm saying? Because they've been telling, listen, let's finish this bullshit right there and then, right? But Putin, no, they're the one who have to live with Ukraine next door to them. They don't have to live with them. You see what I'm saying? People don't know because the media is not reporting it. Like hundreds of thousands of people left Ukraine and went to Russia. Soldiers that they captured, a lot of them don't even want to go back home. They said, no, we'll stay here. You see what I'm saying? And Russia, last time on the show, I said the country that's going to have to rebuild Ukraine, it's going to fall and rush everybody. Oh, where Russia going to get the money? I mean, that's why sometimes I come in and show I'm so upset with people because they don't know. They just come in here with emotions. They don't know the damn history of anything that happened in this goddamn world. And they certainly don't know the history of Ukraine and Russia and all the other border countries and like Poland and all that around. They don't know what's going on. They're just going on media, on emotions and all that bullshit. No, study what's happening in the goddamn place. You see what I'm saying? And that's the problem. People are not studying why, what is this war about? What's going on? They're not studying what's actually happening. You see, and that's the problem. And then I'm gonna end it there.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Salmon.
Hey, yeah, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
That's what's up. Yeah, I don't think it's prudent to get all worked up or emotional about that spectacle that happened with President Zelensky and President Trump at the White House. I think it was just all a spectacle in front of the public to sway public opinion. But the truth is, I don't know exactly what the truth is, but in my opinion, this is all about Brics. Russia's working with China, South America, South Africa to start Brics. When they start Brics and have their own currency, they'll be able to purchase petroleum not using the American dollar.
The Brics is a non-factor now. Trump killed that.
Yeah, so that's what Biden was trying to do. He was trying to destabilize Russia and China so that they wouldn't be able to have their own currency. Now that Trump's in office, he's using different tactics than what Biden was using. Apparently, he wants to just tariff the heck out of China to force them to stay on the American dollar as opposed to moving towards Brics and threatening to relieve the stress of income taxes that is pressed upon the American people and switch it over to tariffs. So all of that is yet to be seen whether or not it's going to be an effective strategy. But that whole incident where Zelensky was arguing with Trump is just Trump wants to sway the opinion of the public. Also, I thought that Zelensky had stated that prior to him coming to the White House that he was going to sign a negotiation deal as far as giving up minerals in exchange for the weaponry that was given to him, which was all, old, outdated weaponry. The Biden administration has already purchased all new equipment anyway, allocated all new equipment anyway. So all of that stuff was decommissioned. It wasn't going to be useful anyway. So they just gave it to Zelensky. But
No, a lot of not all the weapons was outdated. A lot of them was brand new weapons.
I don't know about all of it, but from my understanding, it was outdated weapons.
No.
When I was in the army, we were using like M16s, M4s, M9s. Now I'm hearing about a whole new line of weaponry. So they got to get rid of all of that, all of the M16s, all of the M4s, the body armor, all of that's changing. I know that the Bush administration has spent a ton of money on refurbishing the military as well. So I think it's just, a money thing, and they're pushing for power. And And I think Putin, he's just trying to gain power in Eastern Europe as well, because he doesn't want to allow NATO too close to his border in Ukraine, or that he would, or his country would look like they were weak by allowing NATO to invade the border so closely. So they have to, to keep that image of them being a powerful nation that other countries can look to for support to utilize the dollar. He had to fight back. So yeah, this is all about money, and we're yet to see the what's going to be the results of this negotiations. You can even see a guy like what's his name, Elon Musk. He's from South Africa, and he's putting all kinds of political jargon out there in regards to what's happening in South Africa about the Europeans in South Africa being mistreated. So, it's divide and conquer tactics. Hey, we're behind you, South Africa. Don't join BRICS. Or don't focus on BRICS, Russia, because you have an issue with Ukraine. So they're all just puppets, puppets of the big giant machine of world economy.
All right, let me pass it. Come out fighting. Go ahead, come out fighting. Unmute yourself.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Can you hear me, Dinas?
Loud and clear.
Hey, I was wondering how do you figure that Brics is dead? How did Trump kill Brics?
Well, I'm not saying it's dead, but it won't, like, this idea that is, let me turn this real quick. This idea that is gonna, destabilize the dollar is not gonna happen. I mean, certain like countries in BRICS, like for example, Saudi Arabia has pledged to invest, over like $500 billion into the U.S. Something similar with India, not that much money. South Africa, they're crying that America's in aid. Like, well, go to BRICS and get the aid.
Dinas.
Go ahead.
Let me just say something about BRICS again for the emptying times. BRICS was never designed to hurt the dollar. It was just an alternative currency because of the U.S. weaponizing the dollar. Everybody around the world was perfectly fine using the dollar. Russia was fine with it. China was fine with it, right? But the matter of fact, the U.S. started BRICS. They're the one who started BRICS, because if it wasn't for the U.S., BRICS wouldn't have started, right? So it was never designed, right, to bring down the dollar. And no, it's not dead. It's going to keep going, and more countries is gonna join BRICS, right? And it's just going to be an alternative currency. That's all it's going to be, alternative currency for the dollar, right?
Well,
so I don't think. Hold on, let me finish.
Well, you cut me
finish.
off. You cut me off. I was talking to Dynasty and you jumped in. So, wait a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
If you look at Trump's isolationist policies and what's going on with Europe, the United States wants Europe dependent on the United States.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's why they want the United States to spend more money with weapons. Who are they going to buy the weapons from? They're going to buy the weapons from the United States. That way, the military industrial complex gets paid. People over here get paid. Then he wants to push their security off on themselves. The United States wants to distance themselves from protecting Europe. They want basically, Europe is so far behind technologically that they need the United States. That's why all the European countries have been complaining about, we need to protect ourselves. We need to form another alliance. This is just going to push them towards Russia and China and BRICS. So I don't see BRICS going anywhere. I see them as an option to the United States as far as infrastructure. China has a Silk Road. China wants to do business. China wants to build. China has never been a warring country. This is the United States putting fear into people so they can spend more money for the military. And I mean, they're not going anywhere.
You're basically right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't say you was wrong.
No, that's all. And as far as Ukraine, back in 1995, Ukraine and about 3 other countries gave up their nuclear weapons in exchange for protection from the United States and its allies. Because
Those codes, Russia had the codes for the nuclear weapons. They couldn't use it without Russia.
well, it doesn't matter. All the countries in
Yeah, but they
Belarus,
couldn't use it without Russia. They just couldn't.
They had to get rid of them, just like South Africa. When the blacks took over in South Africa, what
Yeah.
happened? South Africa had to give up their nukes. So
Yeah.
the United States promised them protection. Well, look how that's working out for them.
Yeah, but
You
US
know?
couldn't protect. US can't protect anybody from Russia.
No, well, United States has its own problems. We haven't won a war in a long time.
They
So
can't even beat the Houthis, bro. I mean, please.
no, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, guys, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the conversation. Link is in the chat room. Delroy, you think the war is going to end soon with Ukraine and Russia? It seems like
It has no choice. It has no choice. It's either that or Ukraine won't have a country again. It'll cease to exist.
I got a question. If the war ends in Ukraine, do you think that Trump is going to entertain reparations with the extra money that we save?
Reparation for who? For us? for us? For black people in America? The African Americans?
Yeah, I remember when you opened it, Dynasty, you was saying that was our reparations. So, I mean, you think Trump is going to entertain that?
No, I was just being sarcastic. I'm just saying all the people who are, like, so for example, what's the lady's name? The bald head lady, the representative. What's her name? Somebody help me out. Ayanna Pressley. She brought up the whole reparations bill again, and I'm just like, look, reparations at this point is in Ukraine. This whole study. They've been studying reparations since '89. I think it was HR 430. I think it's the bill. So they're not serious. And then if you see how loud, like they would rather you beg to Walmart and Amazon than to demand reparations, which is weird. And you see what happened with reparations in California with that bill.
Yeah, black people cut that off.
Yeah, that was cut off by the Black Caucus.
I don't get that one. I didn't get that one.
Yeah, then they want to turn around and say we need to support Zelenskyy and beg and boycott Target and Amazon. It's just weird. Go ahead, Ditso.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for having me, Prince, Johnny, Delroy. I do have to feel obligated to push back in certain points here. First, let's face it, Russia to Ukraine is the invader, and they have acted as such in every sense of the word since the end of USSR back in the 90s up to today. Russia has been an interventionist force in its neighboring countries, just like the United States it is to many of us in Latin America. Understanding the context and the historical context to which surrounds Ukraine and the conflict, especially in the Luhansk and Donetsk region, and Crimea in itself, will help you understand that what this war that has been ongoing for the almost now entering the fourth year represents a complete and utter failure of Russia in every sense, way, shape, form, or manner. The Ukrainians have stood strong and have stood to a standstill, and all evidence points to that direction. Now, the mentioning of the Minsk Accord, especially the Minsk One, that was celebrated in 2014, it was not with NATO. The Minsk Accord was with the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE, with the mediation of leaders like ex-president or prime minister of France, Francois Hollande, and Angela Merkel of Germany. It was correct. It was Angela Merkel. At least on that was correct. But the Minsk Accords was in regards of the post-Kiev Maidan revolution that refueled certain certain ideals or certain perspectives within the Donetsk, Crimea, Luhansk region of separation from Ukraine, because of ethnico-cultural aspects. Sure, we can debate them. If those people are more inclined to a Russian ethnical, southern Russia ethnical nearness, or are they a mixture between Ukrainian and Russian history, etc. So that discussion, sure, we can have it. It's a nice discussion to have, but I'd rather leave that discussion to the people who are there, who experience, who are from that region. But there's no doubt that what we're living today, since the end of the USSR to today, and more aggravated, particularly on the years 04 of this century and 14, is the consequence of interventionism of Russia. And I find it inconceivable that today you have a clear a clear puppet or loud voice in favor of Russia in the U.S. presidency by President Musk and Vice President Donald Trump.
Could you describe the Ukrainian government, please? What type of government are they?
From the end of USSR to today, they have attempted to establish a constitutional republic.
No, the government now, today, now, since Zelenskyy took over.
No.
Then,
first, that is a disingenuous question because A, the type of government that was attempted to establish, particularly after the fall of the USSR, was a constitutional representative democracy. Okay, starting with Leonid Kravchuk. From 91 up to today, there has only been 7 presidents in Ukraine in a span of 30 years. Now, in regards to the Minsk Accord, who was president at that moment was Petro Poroshenko, not Vladimir Zelenskyy. Poroshenko was pro-Russian. He was president from 7 June 2014 to 2019 when Zelenskyy was elected. And currently, the government that is established is a wartime government on the last, in this ongoing 4 years that have been ongoing, because the war started about a year after Zelenskyy was elected as president. So let's not be disingenuous with those type of questions.
yeah, you don't know history, bro. You don't know history. As a matter of fact, I remember your voice. You're the one who said Trump was going to lose, and you insisted that he was going to lose. So I do remember your voice.
It was a political position at that moment. I can say I was wrong, but I also saw the possibility
You insisted, and,
sure,
and you berated. What's the word?
Why are you changing the subject?
You berated everyone because I want to show this is what you do when you have a case. If you're a lawyer, this is what you do. You look at people's history, all right? And I'm pointing out to people that you don't know what you're talking about.
Because you gave your reason, then mouthpiece of propaganda for Russian interests.
No, bro.
You do not know what you're talking about, and you make up things in order to push your propaganda.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
So you do not know what you're talking about.
You were wrong then, and you're wrong now. You were wrong then, and you're wrong now. You're mad because I caught you. I caught your voice.
I caught you lying.
Mike,
I caught you. Diners remember you. Diners remember.
Oh yeah, he calls it. But do you agree with? Do you agree with Ukraine canceling elections and declaring martial law?
It's a wartime effort.
Okay,
you want to blame somebody for those decisions of Ukraine? Blame Russia.
So let me ask you another question. Do you agree with Ukraine restricting freedom of the press. So if I'm in Ukraine and I disavow the war, I could get arrested, I could get shut down. Like, do you agree with that?
Same measures that United States took in World War I and World War II. Same measures that Europe took during the eras of war. On war measures, unfortunately, I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm just exposing as what they are.
He just killed the American journalist. He just executed an American journalist. You agree with that?
Right. Do you agree with him? I think the guy's name was Gonzalo.
Yes.
Do you agree?
As a matter of fact, he was Hispanic.
Right, and he was American. Do you agree with that?
No, he wasn't Hispanic. He was a U.S. born with Latin American heritage, but he was a
Oh
US
Lord,
born
same damn thing. Who cares?
No, it's not
Stop,
the
man.
same
Shut
damn
up.
thing.
Of course
It's
it
not
is.
the same damn thing.
Yes, it is.
That's Hispanic.
But here's the thing. That situation with Gonzalez as a mouthpiece, as you're doing in favor of
You
Russia.
see, this guy's something else, boy.
That was
You
a
are
decision
something else.
internally of
The
Ukraine.
dude executed an
you're
American.
You're defending anybody.
He executed an American. You're backing that? He executed an American. He's a journalist, not a killer, not a murderer, not a terrorist. He was a journalist, an American. He executed him. You in agreement with that? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not necessarily agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just exposing the things as they are. But the problem here is, hold on. How are you defending the self-entitlement of U.S.-born citizen with Chilean background to go back, to go into a different country and act as if he's the one? Look, fuck around and find out. And that's what exactly happened to Gonzalo. I do not agree with executions, but unfortunately, on the circumstances that
you know who
happened,
you know who the actress Roseanne Barr is? You know who Roseanne Barr is? Actress. Do you know who that is?
So here's the thing.
I just asked you a question. Do you know her? Yes or no?
Look, Gonzalo Lira completely and utterly favor Russian interests.
He's an idiot.
He went to Ukraine to push forward the Russian interest. You tell me, how do you justify that a U.S. citizen goes and defends the Russian interest in the country that is being invaded and expects not to be prosecuted and persecuted by those who are defending their Ukrainian interests? So
do you know he went to interview him just like the other white dude did, went to interview Putin, right? Did you listen to what he said? Do you listen to, do you know who Scott Ritter is? Ex-Marine. Do you know who that is?
Bro, you're just deciding arbitrarily.
I'm trying to make a point. Actually, do you know who Roseanne Barr is?
How do you defend Gonzalo Lira, U.S.-born citizen, going to Ukraine, defending the interest of Russia?
He went there as a journalist. He went there as a journalist, just like Scott Ritter. He go there as a journalist, just like the other white dude, dude that went there from Fox.
So you're accepting that he's an unethical. Both. This.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Unethical because.
Bro, you don't make no sense, man. You don't make no sense.
No, you're not making any sense because you're not able to focus on the issue.
Bro, you do not have the historical intelligence that I have.
No.
You don't know shit.
A mouthpiece for Russia does not come.
What is a mouthpiece for Russia, bro? I'm from Jamaica. What are you talking?
You are being a mouthpiece of Russia. You are pushing the interest of Russia in the sense of this whole freaking conflict.
Oh, so let me ask something. So let me ask something. Am I pushing the interests of the United States?
Well, now that United States and Russia have allied themselves, it seems so.
Allied themselves? What are you talking? Oh, this dude, bro, you have no sense. Russia and the U.S. allied themselves? Russia and U.S. allied themselves? How? Because Trump is trying to stop a nuclear war?
Trump is not.
That's allying themselves?
Look, Trump is nothing more than a charlatan who won that presidency, but who is danger to all of us. And
Let me ask
the
you this,
international
Bro,
community
you
knows
live in America?
Yes, I live in America. I live in Central
Why?
America.
Why
This
are
is
you
my
here?
region.
But why are you here?
No. Do you live in the United States of America?
Dude, Delroy, America is not just United States.
Do you live
Let's
in the
start
United
with
States?
that.
Yes or no, bro?
Do you live in the
No,
United States?
I do not live in the United States. I live in Central America, in my country of origin.
So then, bro, what you worrying about Trump and Zelensky for then?
And what the fuck are you talking, being a Jamaican, about Trump then? Talk
Because
about your Jamaican shit.
Because I'm an American citizen. I live here, right here in Georgia, bruh. This is where I grew up here.
Then you're not
I grew up
Jamaican.
here.
You are a U.S. citizen with Jamaican heritage, but you are not Jamaican.
Oh,
let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Come on, bro.
If Russia takes over and annexes the land from Ukraine, like and that ends the war, what's to stop them from coming back in and taking more land or having another excuse in another 5-10 years? You know, what could they actually do to solve this? Like actually put an end to it if they do get the land. Is that
who get the line? The question is for me?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm saying if Russia does annex the next part, the Donbass, what's going to stop them from
It's
going back
annexed.
in?
That land is gone. Like Donna said the other day. Forget about that land. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. That land is gone.
It's done. That's done.
It's done.
So if it's done, all right, what's to stop them from coming back? If the war ends, they got it.
What do you mean coming back? For what? Come back there to do what?
This ain't the first time that they've done this. I mean, history will show you they might want to do it again.
For why? For what reason?
Why not? They did it in Crimea. They just did it again.
Oh,
why not?
God damn.
Bro, answer the question then. Answer the question then.
Answer the question, Delroy.
The Donbass. Who live in the Donbass?
Bro, answer this. Is what I'm asking you. Don't ask me a question, bro. I'm asking you. If you go in here, all right, and they already annexed land twice, what's to stop them from going back a third time if the war ends? That's a simple question. It's not even biased. It's just a straight up question.
If the people in the Donbass are ethnic speaking Russians, right? The people in Crimea are ethnic speaking Russians, right? The Nazi government, right? The Nazi government in Ukraine was killing those people for years and years and years. Those people wanted separation. At first they did not want to be part of Russia. At first they did not. They just wanted annexation from them. Okay? And I asked this dude from South America, wherever he's from, if he knew Rosenbar. Rosenbar family is from the Ukraine. Those Nazis killed them off. Okay? Just listen to her story. They killed them off, all of them, because they wanted their land. They killed them off. And they're full Ukrainian. They're not Russian. They're full Ukrainian.
Delroy, riddle does this. If the Donetsk and Luhansk region and the Crimea region decide to be independent from Ukraine and Russia, will Russia allow that? Will Russia allow that region to become an independent nation?
No, that's a different matter than what
that's
I was asking,
done with.
Man. I'm just saying,
done with.
Are you saying because their people are ethnic Russians historically, which all of them are technically part of the old USSR? Are you saying that this is the only reason why they're going over, and they don't have another reason to try to annex more land?
The reason why they went in there, if Zelensky had agreed with the Istanbul Accord and then listened to Boris Johnson, right? All that would have been ended. They would have kept all that land. They would have kept. Okay. They would have kept it, but Boris Johnson flew over there and said, "No, we got your back." And the result, and you see the result. What happened? You see the result, right? That land is Russia forever, and that's what the people them wanted. And if you go on YouTube right now, you could see all those towns and cities is being rebuilt. You just turn on YouTube and go there right now. All those towns that was annexed, every last one of them, pure construction. Okay, that land is gone, right? And if that bitch Zelensky don't sign this deal, Ukraine won't have a country no more. And there's nothing nobody could do about it. Nothing.
And that
nada.
shows us that the support for imperialism and colonialism does not know flag when it enables propaganda of that nature without exposing the context or the historical context. Because if we look at the Donetsk, Luhansk region and the Crimea region, and to say they're ethnically Russian, that is not accurate. I've talked with people from that region, and they are a mixture of different ethnical values in that sense, or ethnical practices in that sense.
Nowhere in the world is 100%. Nowhere in the world is 100%.
They're right. So again, the question is, if those regions make the decision, the self-determination decision of we want to be dependent from Russia or from Ukraine, we want to be a independent nation. If that happens today,
they already made a decision. They made a decision. They had a vote. They had a referendum.
Yeah.
They had a referendum to join Russia. They had a referendum to join Russia after the war started. They had a referendum to join Russia. They said they want to be part of Russia. They actually had a vote.
Just like somebody who supports Trump and who supported that on his when he lost against Biden to question the validity or legitimacy of a process of election, shouldn't you have that same consistency of saying, was that referendum legitimate and consistent with the practices of democracy? But no, you cherry pick and decide when it's beneficial for you. I'm
not cherry picking nothing, bro. I'm not cherry picking nothing. And no, if you looked at the interview, the interview that just happened, Trump told Zelenskyy that you don't have the cards, meaning you are not in a position to say shit. You see what I'm saying? Let me handle it. Trump was trying to let me handle it.
This is the thing. How the hell do you justify that the U.S. president elected by the United States is going to handle the issues of a foreign country?
They come to us for foreign aid, though, bro.
That pretentious prick can shove it up his ass.
Ukraine is America's bitch.
Look,
it's as simple as that.
They come to you. They come to you.
Your president Donald Trump is a Putin's bitch. So what's the difference? Two bitches trying to reorganize this whole bullshit. What we're seeing on
Ukraine, Ukraine and Russia. If you want to put it that way, Ukraine and Russia is the big bitches. Okay, and the two big bitches is trying to prevent a goddamn nuclear war.
The other bitch who in the last 80 years have not had a successful interventionism or war. I mean, from Korea up to today, Afghanistan, going across the 60 years of the war on drugs that has been a failure. You're telling me that country is now able, because they elected a loudmouth prick who has no fucking clue where he's standing, to resolve the
same loudmouth prick you said is not going to win. You insisted that he wasn't going to win. That's the same loudmouth prick you're talking about.
Well, he won. I was wrong.
Okay, so you're wrong then. How come you're wrong now? Why aren't you wrong now?
Why I'm not wrong now?
Yes.
First, I never actually said, and you can go back to the video. I said that the possibilities of Trump winning at that moment we were speaking were low.
Bro, you just said you was wrong. Don't change it up now.
Bro.
I don't. That point of view.
I remember you, bro.
Bro, come
on. Hold on.
I remember.
Delroy,
You said he
Look
wouldn't
how
win.
you changed the subject. This is the issue. Your butt hurt because I am against someone that you support that is considered a tyrant
I don't care who you're against.
and a corrupt sexual molester and a fraud.
Oh man, this Joy
listen to this.
Joy
listen to this.
Let me pass the mic. Go ahead, Mansa.
Yeah, pass the mic, bro, please.
Go ahead, Mansa. Mute yourself, Mansa.
Hey, Linus, how are you, man? Thanks for having me on again.
Go ahead.
Hey, Delroy, I've listened to you many times about this topic, and I know you're not a Putin puppet. I know Scott Ritter is not a Putin puppet. George Napolitano is not a Putin puppet. Tulsi Gabbard is not a Putin puppet. Okay, I'm gonna say a few things, Dennis. Okay, give me a few minutes. Okay, now there's a book called The Geographical Pivot of History, written by Sir Halford Mackenzie, one of the British secretary in the 1960s, something like that. So he made it plainly. He said, the spaces within the Russian Empire and Mongolia are so vast, and their potentialities in population, width, cotton, fuel, and metal so incalculable, great, that it is inevitable that a vast economic world, more or less apart, will there develop inaccessible to oceanic commerce. It means, he was explaining in the book that Britain was, there was the time during the colonial time, they were like the oceanic power, like they have the navy, go around the world, conquer here, loot here, do stuff and stuff like that here. But the difference with that, Russia has a vast landmass, and the area where Russia is located is between Euro-Asia. That's why I say Europe-Asia, because Russia is between literally Europe and Asia. So Russia can pivot anywhere. So but because of the landmass, and Russia is wealthy, it's a wealthy country. Russia is one of the countries in the world that can sustain itself. So this book I'm talking about, all the politicians know about this book as well. Then there's another book as well called The Grand Chessboard that is written by...
Hey, we lost you, man. We lost you. Let me pass it to Bang. Go ahead, Bang. Unmute yourself, Bang.
Hey man, how y'all doing today, man?
Well, let me pass it to Bang. Go ahead, Bang.
No. Let him go.
But Mansa, I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to. Mansa, can you like drive the point? Like, you know.
Yeah. Dine. So okay.
We Mansa, you there? Oh, go ahead, Bang.
Man, how y'all doing, man? Man, first of all, there's somebody y'all missing too as well. Victoria Nuland. Victoria Nuland was the one responsible for what took place for the past 10 years in Ukraine. She was the one that helped Zelenskyy got in power when they had the coup 2014, the Maidan coup. So that guy was totally lying. Zelenskyy was selected. He was put there because that was a coup in Ukraine. That guy was up and down, like he was something else.
They didn't
designed by the CIA.
Yep, exactly. Victoria Nuland was the one that was passing food in the street of Ukraine. At the same time, we're doing the president in Ukraine was being pressed to step down. When he stepped down, that's when Russia took over Crimea.
You mean the Donbass?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, people come out here with just Victoria Nuland was Ukraine was her baby. Look her up, man. She was like, I think number 2 in the State Department, or number 3. She stepped down last year. I think in the middle of 2014.
Biden pressured her to step down.
Because of Ukraine was already done by then. They knew Ukraine was. Yeah, that's why she's there. Look her up. Look up her history. She was,
people don't want to check the historical facts, and that's the problem. And they come here with hatred for whatever politician they don't like. And it's not about liking a politician or hating a politician. You just gotta tell the truth. There's a lot of things that Trump does that I definitely don't agree with. Right?
Trump is doing the right thing because Ukraine is.
Of course.
You can't save Ukraine.
100%.
He's
doing the right thing.
So somebody has to push back on that and say, no, Trump is doing the wrong thing. And without realizing, look, in politics, you have to understand the importance of the individual who's in power at that specific historical context, what they are able to and how they maneuver throughout, and then you also pay attention. So that wish-washy position of it's not you can't speak or attempting a clear censure against the criticism to those personality, cultural personality type of individuals is also completely and utterly ludicrous in every sense of the word.
Well, can I ask you a science question? So suppose like you said, Russia, Putin and Russia was the worst evil country in the world, and there's something got to be done about them, right? What do you propose the U.S. should do? If Russia is everything and Putin is everything that you said, what should the U.S. do? What should they do?
U.S. is not Russia. Nothing. The first people that need to do something about Putin are the Russians.
I just said. You are correct. Say you are correct. And Russia's evil, and this, and they want to take over Ukraine, and say they go in there and kill all the people them and take over Ukraine. What do you think the United States should do to Russia now? What should happen?
Look, one, in order to change the reality of Russia and the dictatorship of Putin, since the end of USSR, pretty much it went from Yeltsin to Putin, and pretty much Putin has been in power since then.
Are you a comedian?
No,
I asked you a question.
No, okay, hold on.
He sound like a kid. Man,
First,
man, you know you talking to a kid that really ain't got no sense.
No. Hold on.
I just said, what should the U.S. do? Since this was if somebody breaking my house, right? Hold on, bro. If somebody breaking my house or my neighbor house, right? Because they old people. I'm going over there blasting. I'm going to ask you again. What should the U.S. do if Russia is this evil empire? Nothing.
Look.
Oh,
it is not up to the United States. It's up to the international community when there's that type of conflict.
Man, you
that
really
is.
off.
Listen, can I answer? Can I answer?
You just did, bro.
You can't answer because you're not making no sense.
No,
you're not making no sense.
I get what he's saying, man.
The reason I am not making sense to you is because you are not capable.
I just asked you
of getting your head out of your ass, out of the support of people that you support. No, okay. First,
I just asked you. I just said Russia and Putin is the most evil country in the world, and they attack Ukraine, and they're killing everybody. What should the U.S. do?
Again, Delroy, your question is disingenuous, is dishonest.
Oh, you're a comedian.
Okay,
you just like Zelenskyy.
Let me answer.
You and Zelenskyy are two comedians.
And stop being so dishonest. I'm going to answer this way. I told you, United States does nothing. What it needs to happen on that type of circumstance is that the international community is able to rally against the aggressor.
Led by who?
And do
no
what?
one.
So
no one.
The international community?
No, we all lead each other.
You see,
that's the essence that was established post-war. But unfortunately,
you sound like one of them hippies from back in the days.
Look, man, look. I'm gonna ask you something real simple.
If somebody breaking your house and going off your family, what would you do?
Again, were the Ukrainians breaking into the house?
If somebody break into your house,
okay,
and about to harm your family, what would you do?
Russia is breaking down into the house of Ukraine. Do you agree that Ukraine has the right to defend themselves?
Bruh.
Yeah.
Oh, look how he switches now.
What
look how he switches now, Delroy.
No, you are supposed to be going after this evil country and this evil president.
Again,
they go into Iraq, they go into Afghanistan, they go into Libya, they go into everything that they do.
Okay, why are you? See, this is why your question is disingenuous, because you do not want an honest, analytical answer. You want a populist answer that satisfies your short.
Nah, you're a comedian just like Zelenskyy.
You're you are
You
mouthpiece for
make no
Russia.
sense.
No, you are not the one making sense. So here's the thing. First, you said a scientific question. Okay, let's go methodological. One, when did Ukraine become an independent nation in modern times? When did they were able to have a self-determination?
So we shouldn't. Okay, so you admit we shouldn't have helped them then, right?
When have I admitted such a thing? I have not said anything.
When
You
you
are
said
misrepresenting my words. So
Bro,
bro.
you
When
said
you
it's
said that
Russia or America. That's what I'm saying.
when you said hypothetically that the United States shouldn't have got involved and it should be international front. So he came all the way across the Atlantic to come talk with the United States after he already had a deal on the table with the international front in Europe.
Who, Zelenskyy?
Yes.
You're talking the recent meeting? Dude, that meeting becomes a reality because United States arbitrarily decides to bypass Ukraine, just like what they did with the Abraham Accords with Israel and UAE, etc., and not the Palestinian people, and bypass Ukrainian, and then start boasting about, oh, look at us, we're reaching a deal with Russia. That meeting becomes in that context. This
Let's
is the
pass it to
problem.
AD, please.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do need. Bang. You wanted to add something,
sorry.
Bang?
He's man, he's too slow. I'm not trying to disrespect him. He's too slow. Because you know, obviously America control NATO. America is NATO. So use
And
your
NATO
common
is an
sense.
international effort.
Use your
Did
common
Russia
sense, man.
or USSR at any moment
All
wanted
these
to become
countries
part
you're
of
calling about,
NATO?
America controls them. America tells them what to do.
They lead the.
America controls the EU.
Okay, hold on. Did USSR at any moment post-war wanted to become part of NATO?
Russia asked to be part of NATO before in the past,
When
and
you
they
say
said no.
USSR, are you talking about Russia?
America said no.
Or are you talking
Okay.
about
When was this,
Belarus?
Delroy? What year?
I don't remember the year, but they asked them.
1954.
No.
No. This was
recently. When Putin asked them.
1954
No.
No.
Yes,
No.
and I can
Russia
prove
asked
it.
them to become a part of NATO during
In-
Clinton time.
Yes.
Clinton was the
That
president.
They said no.
was afterwards.
They said no.
That was
And then
after
they
the
asked
fall
him
of
to do
No, see, you
USSR.
don't know
They
history,
said
bro.
no.
No, you do not know history. I can prove to you right now that
Oh,
USSR wanted
Jesus
to
Lord.
be part of NATO in 1954 through
No.
Molotov and Nikita Khrushchev. And there's documents that
We're
prove
talking about
said
recent
fact.
time. Putin asked to be part of NATO.
See, this is the thing. History
Putin came in power in
is
1999.
a
if I'm not
continuous
mistaken.
aspect. This is why you're being disingenuous, Delroy. This is why you're
Oh,
being
Lord,
dishonest.
have mercy.
Hey, let
I
me
give
pass.
up.
Let me pass
I
the mic
give
to
up.
Jay. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jay.
yeah,
Go ahead,
because I
Jay.
give up.
Go ahead, Jay. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, man. So again, we're having a conversation, and I'm all for people looking stuff up. I mean, I feel like when I'm on these conversations, I need to be by a computer, man, because I can't really look it up on my while I'm speaking, you know. But because that's a good question. When did Russia try to join NATO? The question I have a question for Ditzo though. Is English is not probably not Ditzo's first language, I'm guessing.
Nope. English is my second language.
It's your second language, right?
Yeah.
So this guy is on here, and it's English is not his first language. You know what I mean? Like, so he's showing some intellect there. He has two languages. Most of us English speakers, we only have one. You know what I mean? Same thing with you, Zelenskyy. In that meeting, English is not his first language. You see, so that's a challenge for him already, in a sense.
By the way, I just put on the back chat as well on the chat the proof that USSR in 1954 tried to join the NATO alliance, sent the necessary documents telling us that Delroy did not what they were speaking. And then furthermore, after the fall of USSR, there were attempts again to join NATO. So we see that the position of Russia of the danger of NATO is a falsehood in that sense. And JA, yes, I could speak even better this subjects and matters in Spanish and even in somewhat Portuguese, but in that sense, the problem being here, and I want to bring it back and reel it back.
No, your English
We
is fine.
cannot.
It's perfectly fine. Your English is perfectly fine. I could
We,
clearly understand whatever you're saying. That's not the problem. The problem
well,
is how you just bring in other things that's not true at all. Because
how?
first of all,
Which things can
first of
you?
all,
Everything you say is not true.
yeah, because you said
That's the same
Zelenskyy
thing I
was
say about
selected.
Delroy.
It
Everything he
wasn't
says is not
selected.
I have
true.
another question.
That's what we're
Sorry,
saying.
Ben. Go ahead.
I have another
Number
question.
two,
So
NATO was formed
you
because of
look up if
the Soviet
Russia
Union
joined NATO in the 90s.
after the Cold War.
Yeah, but
So it
so
wasn't
No.
formed because of they trying to protect the world. No. It was formed because of they trying to make sure they attack Russia to make sure Russia does not ever get power. That was the
that's
reason why NATO was formed. When you look
that.
at all these countries that was added in the 90s, the early 2000s, all these countries are closer to Russia. All these countries are closer to what? To the east. Neighbors of Russia. Putin was warning them, kept on warning them. So if somebody keep adding countries towards your border, what eventually you gonna do?
I have a
You got to
question.
do something,
I have a
like it or
question.
not.
Though.
Russia is a powerful country.
I have a
Russia is not
question.
just some country you're just gonna walk onto. Russia has a lot of power because they have gas. They have a lot of natural resources.
So
I have a
just
question.
like the United Nations, NATO was formed post-war. It wasn't initially.
NATO was formed
first
because
aspect,
of they were trying to contain
what year
Russia.
was NATO
What year was
formed?
NATO formed? That's a good question.
12 September 1949.
49.
Mm-hmm. That's how long after the war had finished? I'm sorry, it was not. It was not September 4th of April 49.
Was it 70 years now,
misquoted.
or close to 70?
So, how many years after the end of the war did NATO?
About 4 years after World War II was ended.
Okay, same thing. What happened with the transformation of the Nation of Leagues to what is today the United Nations? Same response. It was post-war. So we have to analyze all these realities under the post-war.
And by the way, during World War II, Russia was allied with the Allies, United States, and all that, because Hitler was trying to go in there.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, we know the history of the World War. Well, we should know that Hitler made a non-aggression pact with Russia that then he broke when he advanced on his on Barbarossa operation to try to invade that. Yes, we know that Stalin made an agreement with Hitler before Hitler broke that agreement. But so anyhow, the point being here is, and I want to talk on the situation post-war, not to muddle on this thing. Bang, what you just said is historically inaccurate. The origin of NATO was not because of being against USSR, because by that time, within the 3 years after the war, the Allies still had some sort of formal relationship because of what just had happened. Russia and the Allies
because you, like, sorry to cut you off. Just because you have a relationship with somebody, right? NATO was formed to contain Russia, to make sure Russia does not become a powerful nation. Again, you understand? If you look at these countries, they were added. It was all in the eastern of Europe, my friend.
Riddle me this on this sense.
Bang. If you have the ability, right, or someone who has the ability, go on YouTube or Google or whatever and type in NATO and see what they said, why it was formed.
I actually have it here. Who were the 12 original countries?
Russia was a part of the group at the time. Russia was in.
So, yeah, and like Jay says, this is the point. What started becoming what we know now as the historical Cold War was a process, particularly that kicked off mostly on 1950s or 11/9/50. Stalin died 1953. 1 year afterwards, less than a year after Stalin died, you have Nikita Khrushchev and Molotov trying to propose to NATO to join. Less than a year after Stalin died. Of course, they were rejected, and it kickstarts that whole Cold War led by the United States. And today what Trump is doing is ending that era of almost 78, 79 years.
Bro, what? Hold on a second. What? Let me
Okay,
ask you something,
Let me
man.
say this song. Let me say this song, right? So after World War II, right, ended, right? Who took over the world after that? It was America, right? America had all the leverage. America had all the leverage. That's when America became a superpower, right? So if you form a NATO, right? So who's controlling it? Who's dictating everything? It's America, right? Because during that time, Europe just came off of what I think 2 wars, the World War I and the World War II, because both wars took place in Europe. It didn't took place in America. You understand, right?
From this perspective, we have to be extremely careful because
America was the one in charge after
United
World
States.
War
Can
II.
we
They
stop
took over the
calling the
world.
United States? Can we stop calling the United States America? America is a continent that's has 35 nations in it, just like Africa has 54.
Okay, my bad.
United
Come on,
States
man.
does
That's irrelevant because you know who he's talking about.
No.
Come
He got
on
a
now.
point.
No,
He got a
it's
point because we live
extremely
in South America.
relevant.
We gotta respect them.
We know
We gotta
what America
respect
is. We know what the
Don't say
America is.
that's
It's
irrelevant because we know
No,
what.
you don't know what America is, Delroy. America is not
We
just
gotta
your
respect him
country,
because he lives in
and we're
South
sick
America.
and tired of
We gotta
you
respect him.
monopolizing your people, monopolizing that term against those of us who are also American. So fuck off with your
dude,
imperialism.
and fuck
I
you
would
too,
agree
bitch.
that we know what we're saying.
Okay, we know what we're talking about when we say America. I know what fuck America is,
You can say
Okay, what is America?
and it's not America. It's
When
the
was the
Americas.
when
It's the
was the first
Americas.
when was the first time the term America was applied to a map? What year?
I don't care. Okay,
1512.
I
Before the
don't care.
arrival of
When you
English
speak
to
when you
what
speak about America, we know what the Americas is and what countries it contain. We're not. When
What
you say
countries does
America,
it
we know what we're
contain?
talking about. You're
What
not saying that. I'm saying America. I don't care. I'm not saying the United States. I'm saying America.
what countries are contained in America?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
What
but
countries
brother,
are contained in America?
so that's kind of
All
like
of the
it should be
Caribbean,
related.
all of
Anyhow,
South America. What's the big deal?
anyhow, the problem
This
is you
argument
see
is really
Okay.
the North American exceptionalism.
Nobody want that stupid history. It's a
That
stupid history. Okay.
I want to take exactly what Delroy is doing, and
It's a stupid history because everybody knows the
now
Americas.
history
Everybody knows the
stupid.
Americas. No,
Now
your
history
history.
now
Yours.
history now
Yours.
history
Yours.
is stupid.
Yours. Yours.
See
Yours, you
see
little
how
bitch.
you're a
Yours.
mouthpiece for
Yours.
dictators.
Let's calm down.
Yours, bitch. Yours.
Delroy, see how
Yours.
you're a mouthpiece for a
Yours,
dictator.
bitch. Your history stupid. Your history
You
stupid.
just threw water
Your
in your
history don't
whole
make no
argument
fucking
and
sense.
bullshit.
Your history don't make no fucking sense. You're a fucking idiot. Okay? You're an
Sure,
idiot.
gringo. Sure,
Yo,
gringo. Sure,
Dinus,
sure, gringo.
let's get back.
Calm down, gringo.
Let's get back to the original shit. What do we do about this fucking war right now? This guy don't have no sense.
Fuck your
We're not
Trump
talking about you,
and
right?
send him to jail. Send that criminal
Yes,
Trump to jail. And
shut the
his
fuck up.
supporters
Our
have
president
him
not going to
face
jail,
the
bitch.
trial.
Forget that. Our president not going to jail. Forget that. Okay. I don't know what fucking country you live in right now,
Somebody
right?
said in
But
the chat,
you shouldn't speak. You shouldn't speak about America if you don't care about
I'm
America.
gonna say this. Delroy ignorance isn't a valid defense. Yeah, Delroy, your ignorance isn't a defense on regards to your positions.
Bro?
But I'm gonna roll back this conversation to the point we were discussing.
No, you're not. I'm
As
not
we
letting.
can
I'm
see,
not letting you roll back
look,
shit.
America is not
No.
just your country.
No,
Just
fuck that.
accept
I'm not
it.
letting you roll
Just
back shit.
accept it. Yes, I don't give a shit what you will or will not allow because
Well, I
you
don't give
will
a fuck
have no
about you
power
either.
to allow.
I'm not gonna let you talk. I'm not gonna let you talk.
Because you
I'm not
are
gonna let you
a
talk.
dictator supporter.
I'm not.
You're a
Yeah, I'm a
mouthpiece
dictator,
for
bitch. I'm a
criminals.
dictator.
Yes,
I'm a
and we know
dictator.
that. We know
Okay,
that because
good.
you
So
elected
you can't do nothing
dictator
about it.
wannabe.
Anyway,
And
I'm
I
a
can
fucking
I can
dictator. You're a
resist.
dumb
I
idiot.
can resist.
Stay
I
the
can give
fuck. Stay the
resistance
fuck where you
against
at.
your
Stay
type
where
of
you at, bro.
dictatorship.
And leave this shit to men. Stay where you at and leave this shit to
You're not a
men.
man. You're a coward.
Okay.
You're a coward.
Anyway.
Hey, y'all. Well, I mean, yeah, let come on, y'all. Come on.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's stop. Let's stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dennis, I can't let him speak no more, Dennis. He's
Huh?
talking too much. No more for him, bro. Let somebody else speak.
Nah.
No, let me pass it. Let me see if Mansa got his stuff together. Mansa, go ahead. Mansa. Okay, he's not with us. All right. Go ahead, Jay.
Look, I could
Anyway,
gladly stick on the subject, but Delroy is
No,
pushing me
go
down.
ahead. Go ahead. Oh, no, let me pass it to Jay. Jay, you got to turn up your mic too. You're kind of low.
Essentially, and you can look it up. Can you hear me any better?
Go ahead.
Essentially, you can look it up too. NATO is a defense alliance, right? NATO is saying, hey, if you attack a NATO country, or if a NATO country is attacked, all members of NATO will come to that country's defense. NATO has been running for what? 70, going on a century, right? And in Europe, there's research on it. Prior to things like NATO, there were constant like battles over there. Since NATO, it's been relatively peaceful in that area, right? And it's a defense alliance. There are countries on Russia's border that are already in NATO. The Baltic states, for example. There are countries that have joined NATO since since Russia attacked Ukraine. So NATO got bigger since the war, right? So the argument that Russia went in there because they're scared of NATO and all that, that's bogus argument. You know what I mean? Russia went in there because they believe that Ukraine is like a part of Russia or something like that, which is it's a full history. And they're trying to get like access to certain things. And this is what dictatorships and authoritarian governments do. They don't live in peace with their neighbors. They fight their neighbors. Democracies you can't really find democracies that have fought each other in recent times. Democracies, it's the same thing happening over if you look at the Central African Republic, Congo, Rwanda, and there too. All these countries run by authoritarians, dictators essentially, and they're just constantly always some kind of a beef, some kind of a war. And it's always like weak governments. Same thing with Russia. Big landmass, plenty of natural resources, and the economy is not even as big as Italy's. It's not even as big as Canada, even though they got more people. You know, and then you have the people that are around the prime minister or the president, Putin. They're rich, spending their money in Europe and all over the world, balling out. The average person is not living that good life.
But AD, let me ask you something.
Hold on.
And
this man said a lot of false things, man.
All right.
You said a lot
but
of
let me
false
ask you,
things.
let me ask you a question first. AD, what do you think will happen if Russia attacks, say, a NATO country next door to them? What do you think will happen?
What should happen?
No. What do you think would happen? What do you think would happen?
What would happen is NATO has to come to the defense of NATO members. That's what would happen.
Yeah. What? And so you think the United States would now activate war against Russia?
Under Trump, I don't believe it might happen because that's the other question.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're just as bad as this other fucking dude.
Do you think? Let me say, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying under Trump, I don't.
He might be worse.
Isn't that what
Bruh. You just said that NATO is a defensive country. If another country, right, attack NATO, right, there's the other NATO country supposed to come in defense of that country. What do you think the United States would do?
I said it. I said
not Trump. United States.
Listen, who is the commander-in-chief of the United States?
Oh, you're full of shit, man. Shit,
bro.
You people are something else.
Who commands the military in the United States? Who commands the military in the United States?
Okay, so you think Biden would have done it? You think Biden have done it?
Delroy, who commands the military in the United States?
Bro, the president, man. Come on, man. You ask a stupid question.
But
why wouldn't he do it though? But why wouldn't he do it?
Delroy,
would Biden do it? Would Biden? What about Biden? Would Biden do it?
I think it was yes. I think Biden would be more likely because this is what I'm saying. You want a simple yes or no answer.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Do you know the doctrine, the doctrine of Russia, the war doctrine of Russia?
What is the war? No, I don't know it. What's the war doctrine?
Okay, well, if the country is coming up on a I don't know if I could say the word right, but a threat a threat to destroy the country. A threat. I forget, there's a word for it, but I can't think of it right now. Right? But the only option, and this is law in Russia, is a nuclear option.
Okay.
Existential threat.
Bro.
Okay?
Russia
Is a
is
new,
not
but
the
hold
only
on a second.
country,
It's a nuclear option.
continent that has nukes.
Do you know what a nuclear option is?
Yes. Russia is not the only country, even a European country, that continent.
That's my point. That's my point. It's a nuclear option. It's a nuclear doctrine. Okay? A nuclear doctrine is the end of the fucking world.
So you want to appease someone and let them do whatever they want just because you're scared of nukes. All right, I got your point.
Yeah, pretty much.
You want to appease someone and let them do whatever they want. They can run up in America, do whatever just because they got nuclear option.
So when USSR fell,
I'm just telling you, it's a nuclear option.
The same argument that people made when Hitler arose, and that's why people are so dead set on stopping.
No nukes. No nukes back then. No nukes. It was no nukes.
People were running into Hitler was running into other people's countries.
It was no nukes, idiot. It was no nukes. No nukes.
That's
Ukraine should not have let go of the nukes that USSR left in the territory when USSR fell. They should have not agreed to the Budapest memorandum in that sense. And Ukraine should have kept those nukes in their territory.
The agreement even there.
What did America in World War II? What America did to Japan?
Memorandum was an error. That
What did America do to Japan? What did America did to Japan in World War II?
Yeah, it dropped Hiroshima and
Right, exactly. Because they had it.
Should Ukraine have kept the nuclear bombs once USSR fell?
They couldn't do nothing with it. They couldn't do nothing with it. Russia had all the launch codes, everything. They couldn't do nothing with it.
So
with an agreement,
they couldn't do nothing with it.
Defends Russia.
And this is the point we're having. This is the issue we're having.
Y'all makes no fucking sense.
You're the one not making any sense.
Y'all make no fucking sense. Y'all some dumb asshole, bro.
America, who is the global leader, right, is out here going after all their friends. So we want to put tariffs on China, on Canada. We're saying we're going to make Canada, according to Trump, making Canada 50%. We're down in Mexico trying to put tariffs on them. Greenland, going after Denmark and Greenland, right? All people that have rolled with us for decades, friends. And then Russia, who is kind of a historical enemy in a sense, we can't say nothing bad about them.
Jay,
you know what's happening, bro? So
if I may,
so we're going after our friends,
bruh. And then what you gonna do? You gonna fight them?
Hold on, Jay. Just as a matter of correction,
are you gonna fight them, bro?
Tariffs are not put on a country; they're put on the imports of private businesses. So a country doesn't pay the tariffs. It's the consumer of the United States that will pay that tariff. So it's not. If you put tariffs on the imports or exports of Canada to the United States, the one who is going to pay that is the consumer who's buying that. Just that correction.
The point I'm getting at is that we are losing our standing in the world. That's my point. We're going after friends. Right now, the Europeans, they just had a big meeting. America's not even in it. Canada's in it. And they met to say, hey, we're going to keep supporting
the Europeans are children. The Europeans are children. They mean nothing. If what America says goes.
United States now stands alone, and nothing they
what
say.
What America says goes.
Nothing your country says goes.
Bro?
What America says goes.
You're alone. Your country's alone with Trump, with your King Musk and Vice King Trump.
What are you talking about, bro?
Oh yeah.
Well, when he said our country's alone, what do you mean? Do you understand the deals that like America just made with Japan and Saudi Arabia for starters?
Look,
the deal with Saudi Arabia and Japan.
The emergent meetings that have happened not only in Europe but also in Latin America and in Asia, we have come to the agreement that in each one of our regions, the United States is going to stand alone. We're not going to entertain anymore their stupidities. one foot on Panama, 1 foot on Greenland, and that will become their
There's
new
nothing
Vietnam.
y'all could do. There's nothing you could
So
do about it.
he's talking like essentially like a Putin. You're gonna just run up in a country or try and take over a country that you're allies with. That's your friend. You know what I mean? Like if you want him to join you, there's a way to do it. You don't have to run up in there. You don't have to. You know what I mean? But even that's a crazy statement in itself. You know, but
Bro, you really believe that was gonna happen?
bro, I'm taking it at his word. If it's not gonna happen, don't say it. Because it's stupid to say it. So just don't say it.
Bro,
And we will become their Vietnam. As soon as a foot is on our lands, we will become their Vietnam. Just like you lost Vietnam, you will lose here. That's a fact. That's a given fact.
You guys are going over the hill. You guys are going over the hill with this.
Prince, to answer Prince's question. So, for example, Japan, the sitting down with Japan's PM with Trump recently, and the EU, fucking Emiratos Árabes. Sorry, I had to say it in Spanish. Those deals are right now just conversations between those two, because in order for them to become binding, they have to go through the legislative means, and they haven't even come to that point. So right now, those are just conversations or pledges in that sense. So they mean absolutely nothing until they reach the legislative process and they go through the whole legislative process. Of course, we know Trump, it doesn't give a damn about the division of powers of his own constitution. So he's going to arbitrarily decide over the course of policy that requires legislative.
If it doesn't require if Trump could, I guess, overrule or override legislation, then that's legislation.
He can't. A president cannot overrule any form of legislation established.
Then
in
he can't do it then.
any country.
Right, then he can't do it.
That's not true, Ditso.
I know it's not true.
And I'm gonna prove it right now. I'm gonna prove it right now, right? Because what happens in America, right? And I don't know about your country, but in America, the legislature makes laws. The court determines whether the law is legal or illegal, right? They make a judgment on that. The executive enforces the law. Again, you're back to the president. He has the military. He has the police forces, the federal forces. They enforce the law. So if you pass a law and the president says, "Hey, guess what? I don't agree with this democratic system we have. I am a king. I won't enforce that law."
No, bro.
Anyway, the
president, you know, the president could be removed, right?
Brother,
you know, the president could be removed, right?
Brother, 1 second. First and foremost, in the United States currently, the Republicans control both the House and the Senate. That means that they have the power to, they can check the president in some ways, but they're less likely to do it because they're members of his own party. Now, U.S. aid, as an example, was set up by the Congress, right? and look how much damage has been done to U.S. aid without going through Congress, even though it's
the president don't have absolute power in the U.S. The military does.
Bro, the
military could remove the president.
What are you saying, Delroy? The military is run by the civilians. It's run by the president.
Listen to me, man. Listen to me.
All right, good.
Oh, man.
Listen to me. The military can remove the president.
Okay, look it up and come back to me.
So, Jay, I have to push
look it up and come back to me.
Real quickly, I want to push back on two things. On constitutional republics.
Well, hold on. Let me ask Jay a question first. So, Jay, what you're saying is that by Trump canceling U.S. aid, that's illegal.
It's illegal.
No, it's not. Golly,
Okay.
he wouldn't be allowed to do it. Oh my.
Bro.
Oh,
Bro,
but listen,
Dinus,
y'all just making shit up now.
Dinus,
They don't know the laws, Dinus. That's the problem.
This is hilarious. You guys are just making stuff up now. You guys are making stuff up now.
No,
actually,
it's dangerous.
Okay,
What he did-
Dinus, I tell you what.
what
I tell you what,
Trump did
Dinus.
with
I
USA
tell
is
you
not
what,
illegal.
Dinus. I tell you what, Dinus. If you have the ability right now, type in "Is Trump canceling USAID illegal?" and then tell me what it says.
It's not illegal.
Look it up.
Actually, right now I'm gonna bring up a source.
I could be wrong. Look it up.
Legal. He did a beautiful analysis in regards of this, and the conclusion is that it is illegal. The action regarding shutting down U.S. aid is illegal. They did it anyways, but the legal right now has 886,000 views. 4 days ago, he did a beautiful analysis in regards of this, and the conclusion is the action of shutting down USA is illegal, and Trump cannot do it. And this, I'm going to pivot to the point. Yes,
not illegal. It's not illegal.
Look, legal right now.
Dinus, all you gotta do, Dinus,
it's a 21-minute analysis.
Dinus,
what? No, I'm asking a question. What did the
look it up?
What did the
Dinus,
Supreme Court say?
The Supreme Court have
Hasn't
it's in
said
court.
anything.
It's in court right now. It's in court right now. The Supreme Court had a stay. They were supposed to release the funds from another lower court, and the Supreme Court says they're going to give them like a couple more days to release the funds because they want to do a little bit more investigation or something like that. But the
Right, so it's technically not illegal until the Supreme Court rules.
No. That's not what it means. It's like the courts move very slowly, right? And the courts,
but it's not illegal.
Dinus, all you got to do, brother, is just
all you got to
on
do
your computer and look it up, brother. That's it.
But he did.
If I'm wrong, he
did it. Listen,
if I'm wrong,
bro, he did it. The Supreme Court is reviewing it. The money hasn't been released. USAID is shut down. It's not illegal.
But Congress set up USAID. Again, the executive has to enforce the law, and that's what people are missing. If the executive doesn't want, even if the Supreme Court comes back and says, hey, it's illegal. If Trump does not believe in the system or does not agree with the system or wants to be a king, he can just, technically, he can ignore him. Because the executive enforces the law, and that's the power he's using right now. It can be illegal, and he can be like, look, I'm going to do it anyway. You see what I'm saying? And then you got to go to the courts and all this type of stuff. But if at the end of the day, he doesn't want to enforce the law, you still have an issue. Because the executive controls, the Congress passes the law, Congress is in charge of spending the money. They have said, hey, the law is USAID is a thing. What money in USA? That's the law.
What law?
The USAID was set up by Congress.
Okay, but you said law.
Funded by Congress.
What law? Like you said, law. Like it's not a law.
So I'm gonna remit myself to the exposition of Legal here on YouTube. It was a beautiful 21-minute analysis as to why it was illegal, but I want to pivot in this sense. And going back to the point of Jay, first, constitutional republics through the separation of powers, where Jay and I disagree is that the executive is not the enforcer of law. The enforcer of law is the judicial branch of the nation. Why is the judicial? While the legislative is the creator of law through the legislative means, the judicial is the one responsible to then interpret and apply and enforce those laws through the means of the rule of law and
Trump veto. I mean, Trump has veto power, correct? I mean, I, as far as when it comes to branches of government, I'm not.
Okay, he can veto law. He can veto law. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
However, passed by Congress.
However, even if he can veto that law, there are legislative means throughout, and this happens in the United States as well as through all constitutional republics. A legislative branch can say F you to that veto and still pass the law.
Yeah, well, they can still pass law.
Well,
but
okay,
that's
so
the-
let me ask you this. Let
the
me
veto-
hold on, you're not
veto
gonna talk,
is-
you're not gonna talk over me. Let me
Sorry.
ask you this. So did he get rid of USAID, or is he just the funding of USAID that's the issue?
essentially, I don't think he really got
Defunding.
because
He's defunding and
essentially, yeah, because
But he
USAID
didn't,
was
get,
set up.
he didn't get rid of it. He's just
USAID was set up prior to Trump, right? So there's no vetoing of USAID because it's already passed. It's already law, right? So he can't just veto it because it's already passed, right? It's already funded. What they're doing is effectively they're killing it by defunding it because on paper it still exists. It's still the law that it still exists, right?
So he could defund it then. That's not illegal.
No, because it's illegal in the sense that Congress has already funded it. They've already passed the law. It's illegal to fund it. So
and the power of the
you
purse
can't-
is on Congress.
with Congress. So it's illegal in that sense. Like you can't just defund an organization that Congress legally set up.
Yeah, but so now it's up to the Supreme Court to decide if it's legal or not.
Right, but in the meantime, though, what you have is just chaos, essentially, right? In the meantime, like
there's no chaos.
You want to kill it. The way to kill it, if they really wanted to kill it, right, and they wanted to do it in a legal way, in a more organized way, right, they would have went to Congress and said, "Hey, we need to get rid of USAID," and have them pass legislation getting rid of USAID, defunding USAID, and things like that, right? The way they did it, it didn't give people any time to put new structures in place. So, for instance, people in South Africa, right, that need their AIDS meds, right?
But again, my argument is he didn't do anything illegal. He just cut funding.
But Dinas, the thing you haven't done yet, brother, right? You have not typed it in on your internet Google search and come back
I
to me
don't
and say,
care. I'm not going off of Google. I'm going off of what he did and what the law and what the Supreme Court is saying. No one,
so you're going off me.
No one ruled that he did what he did was illegal.
Actually, yeah, a
somebody did,
prominent lawyer and a prominent house of lawyers expressed the analysis that it is. So I would pay more attention to legalese.
So you go to court. You go to court,
and that's exactly where that is. But
right.
let me
it's not illegal to the Bright Court deems it's illegal. The Supreme Court.
Okay.
So it's not illegal.
So let me make very clear my position in regards to USAID. First, USAID, through the humanitarian assistance in different crises, has been good, necessary in some occasions. But there is criticism, especially from my side of America, that USAID has also been used in occasions as a platform to push for the geopolitical control of the United States. So we are seeing the defunding in two optics. One, the immediate effect that yes, USAID has helped in many instances in our crises, but in others, that doubt of how far is USAID a trampoline for the CIA and for the espionage and for the infiltration and invasion and interventionism of the United States. That's an open question I cannot answer. There are some doubts in that sense. So if we part that USAID under the mask of humanitarian assistance was
well, Michael, that's what I'm trying to figure out. There was no law that set up USAID. It was an executive order. Like that's what I'm trying to what he's talking about. And if there's an executive order on the books, a president could get rid of that executive order. I don't know where's this law coming from. There was no law.
USAID was set up on the Kennedy presidency.
Action. Yeah, exactly.
And here's the thing. I was looking it up here. USAID was created by executive order by Kennedy,
right?
EO 10973, based in part on authority provided in the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961, but a later act of Congress of 1998, 22 USC 6501 ETS SEQ, established USAID as its own agency. So The law that you're asking happened on 98. No, okay. USA was established in 61 by executive order of Kennedy, following the Foreign Assistance Act of 61 that was already passed by Congress. And then in 98, the Foreign Affairs Reform and Restructuring Act of 98, through law 22 USC 6501, established U.S. aid as its own agency. Therefore, the question is that the actions taken by Donald Trump are in opposition to the Constitution in that sense.
No,
So
that does not mean it's a part of the Constitution. USA is not a part of the Constitution.
no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying USA.
Go ahead, free game. Go ahead, free game.
It's not a law, bro.
I know it's not.
I decided it.
No, you didn't. That's not a law. That's a statute. If another country,
that's just a law.
No, they not. If a statute is something that's agreed upon amongst the society, that means it's always can be revoked. Now, for instance, if another country had a dispute over our aid, what court would they go to?
Okay, first, a statute. Let's clear No, because I have to dispute.
Hold on. I'm asking you this.
Dispute your essence of the question.
First, what jurisdiction would they go to?
Again, I have to dispute your base of your question, because you said a statute is not a law. Okay, so how can you define how are you defining the difference between law and statute?
I'm asking you, what court can they go to? Like America don't even have jurisdiction in another country. So what I'm telling you is that what court would they go to if we didn't want to give them aid? What court would they go to?
Dude, that's an absurd question.
It's no court, bro.
It's an absurd question, because that's not the question in hand. The question in hand is, was the action of Donald Trump through executive order of defunding and de facto shutting down U.S. aid against his own constitutional capabilities? In that sense, we already established U.S. aid was first established in 61 through executive order of Kennedy through the Foreign Assistance Act of 61. And later in 98, it was established as its own agency, creating the law and the status of aid in that sense. And then you came into the dispute. Hold on. You came into the dispute saying that's a statute.
But what court are they going
law and statute? So
I'm asking you.
Make that distinction.
I'm asking you, what court would they go to if they say America don't want to give us money? What court would they go to? They can't petition the Supreme Court.
I'm talking internal creation of U.S. aid. I'm talking internally in the United States. Your question is irrelevant. Again,
no. The first thing is law is jurisdiction. So what court would they go to? That's what I'm asking you. What court would they go to if they said America won't give us money?
Bro, again, U.S. aid.
No, the first rule of law is jurisdiction. I'm trying to tell you. So what court would they petition? You cannot.
I know the answer to it.
What?
Again, free game.
Let me give him the answer. He wanted an answer. He asked what court. You can't answer it. He's gonna go to the Spanish court where this dude is talking bullshit from. That's where he's going.
No. Okay, the bullshit question, free game. You've skeeted over the question.
Okay. After. Okay. Now,
again,
is a law in America. Hold on. Is a law in America.
How was USA created?
I'm from America. let me tell you.
You're from United States as North America. Great.
If somebody,
I'm from Central America.
If somebody wanted to go to the court and sue over food stamps, they can't do it. The Supreme Court.
Well, hold on, guys. Let me hold on. Let me read this. So the president has the right to veto acts passed by Congress, but then it's up to the Congress to override the veto or not.
Yes, exactly what I just told you.
So that's not illegal what Trump did to USA then.
No.
Okay.
It's not. What can Mexico do?
Hold on, one Mike. Even if a statute is a law, I'm not a lawyer. It could be. He can still veto it if Trump can still veto it. It doesn't mean it's illegal.
Okay,
go ahead.
So
where in our Constitution it said we must support other countries? That's the law.
Oh my. Okay.
Where in our Constitution? Where in our Constitution it say we must give other countries money?
First, free game. You are. It's going over the head in that sense because the point of discussion is not in the essence of U.S. aid as that tool to give aid to other nations, etc., and the right or not right of that aid to go to the countries that require because of either natural events or whatever. The question is, U.S. aid internally in the United States was created by an executive order of Kennedy, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so that executive order, what was it following?
What you mean?
What act of Congress did Kennedy base himself to create U.S. aid?
Exactly.
How is it that you're not paying attention? I said it over here.
But all I'm saying is he didn't break the law.
What I'm trying to tell you
he
is,
didn't break the
what
law.
I'm trying to tell you is that
hold on,
aid is a privilege. It's not a right. You cannot sue somebody over a privilege.
That's not the point of discussion. That is not the point of discussion.
If our government said today they wanted to cut off food stamps, it's nothing we can do. It's no lawsuit you can file. It's a privilege. You're getting the benefit from America is a privilege. It's not a right. You don't have rights in America. So how could you turn a lawsuit for a privilege? It's not a right. You're not even in our country.
Again.
Okay.
That is not the point of discussion.
So how
that has not been the point of discussion. Okay. So again, the point of discussion is U.S. aid as an internal agency within the United States.
You already see when you said agency. An agency is a branch of the government. It's not even the government. So so you destroyed the argument right there.
Did I not just say that the Foreign Affairs Reform and Restructuring Act of 98, 22 U.S.C. 6501 established U.S. aid?
It's not a right. An act is a privilege. The Social Security Act. The Social Security Act
for crying out loud.
Government program. You're not entitled to.
Did your Congress in 98? Did your Congress in 98 establish USAID as its own agency?
Yes, but like I said, Trump has the right to veto that. That's what you don't understand. Your guys' argument is he broke the law. He didn't.
Well,
the right to veto it.
How you can't break the law if you're not a citizen of America?
Well, but the free game. The argument is what Trump did was illegal, and I'm saying it's not because he has the right to veto it.
And yeah, I'm saying he have a right because it's not a sending another country aid it's not a right for them. You only can sue over rights.
Again, we're not discussing the issue of aid per se. We're discussing the issue of the creation of USAID, the establishment of USAID as an agency that has already been established, and you have not been able to counter that, and that the action of Donald Trump through an executive order, what is being disputed in the courts right now is precisely that his action is unconstitutional in the sense that he
not.
is expanding his. Well, that's a decision for the courts to decide.
And this so that and this so that that's and this so what Mike and did so that's been my point the whole time. He didn't do anything illegal. He has the right to veto, which he did. So you're right. It's up to the Supreme Court.
So where our laws come from the Constitution. Where in our Constitution it say we have to support another country?
You know the odd thing is, cutting off that aid from, I'm going to use my beloved African countries. It's the best thing that ever happened to them. Cutting off that bullshit aid is the best thing that ever happened to them. So I am glad he did it. Okay, I am absolutely ecstatic that he did it. Okay, so people could grow on their own.
Look, I already gave a source in regards of a legal analysis of why it's illegal. I gave that source right there. Everybody can see.
Yeah, he's not the Supreme Court. Like we'll find out.
Again.
That is just commentary.
Okay.
Again, it's just commentary.
Prince,
He did. Trump
however, it's a lawyer with sufficient.
It does not matter. It's
so
commentary.
It doesn't matter then your position that you consider it's not illegal, because at the end that dispute will have to resolve within the court. So At this point, my position in regards to the analysis I can give is that the action, the executive order, internally in the United States, because I'm not discussing the issue of aid or no aid. I've already cleared my position in regards of U.S. aid.
You must have benefited directly from U.S. aid.
I've already cleared my position in regards of U.S. aid.
Do you benefit from U.S. aid?
Here, and you can actually rehear it and go back. I said that my position on U.S. aid has two points. One, yes, we can recognize that in some circumstances it has been helpful for the crises that different countries have lived through in that sense, that humanitarian assistance. But on the other hand, there are heavy suspicions that U.S. aid had been utilized as a trampoline for the interventionism, espionage, and geopolitical control of the United States, which it's interesting. By shutting it down, if we can prove that USAID did both things, did good humanitarian actions, but also enabled or opened the door for political interventionism in each of those countries they went and assisted with, then Trump has effectively destroyed a tool of intelligence that goes against the interest of.
So isn't that a good thing? Don't you like that? So don't you like that? Isn't that a good thing?
Delroy, my position isn't one of in favor or against. My position is analyzing the minutia of what is happening internally in the United States. Now, based on the analysis made by Legal as one of my sources, as well as the historical aspects, I am of the position that the action of EO, regardless of aid, or regardless of that it was used as trampoline for espionage, etc., blah, 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 the action internally constitutes an illegality. However, that determination is only going to be happening inside the courts of the United States. I am of the side of the inclination that action, and that takes me back to a point that Jay was making, and I want to make this very clear.
And if the courts held it up, what would you say then?
Well, the courts held it up. Good for the lawyers of the state, of the federal lawyers that maintain the arguments well in it. I'll analyze the arguments and see what were they right and what can be analyzed in regards of those arguments from a legal perspective. But again, I want to land the plane on this. One, constitutional republics and the division of powers. The executive does not enforce laws. That's the responsibility of the judicial. The legislative creates the laws. The executive is an administrator. And in majority of Republican constitutions, I could accept maybe put out Canada and United States, but throughout Latin America, the principle of legality is something established in the in those constitutions. The principle of legality tells us that the elected official, the public official, can only do that which the law permits him or her to do. And the private individual, the private citizen, can only do that which is not forbidden by law. That principle, even if I'm making the grade of exception between Canada and the United States, that principle is also seen within the United States Constitution, particularly on, well, we can see it on Article 2, Section 2, Article 3, Section 1, and we see that notion. So here's the thing. The whole point of argument that we've had was not a question of a aid or no aid, or is it a right or no right, blah, blah, blah. The point was just a particularly internal legal analysis of United States. We'll see what happens in the courts. And with that, I land my plan, and it's a bit of a late for me. I do have to step off because I do have get ready for tomorrow work and things I have to do.
Well, let me tell you before I leave. Viva Putin and Trump. Viva Putin and Trump. Two adults in the room trying to solve a problem.
Fuck Putin and fuck Trump. Both are criminals and both deserve the worst outcome for their so-called legacies. Just like Hitler.
The only two men
like
that could
Stalin,
save the world right now.
Just like Fidel Castro. Just like Maduro. Just like Hugo Chavez. Like Pinochet. Like Mao Zedong, or
All
so
great
many
men.
others.
All great men. All great men.
Fuck all those men.
All great men. All great men. All great men.
Long live freedom. Long
all
live freedom
great
against
men.
any god,
All
any man,
great men.
and any
all great
imperialist
men.
big.
Where was your
I
bitch
stand for the
country?
American freedom. I stand
Where was your bitch country when Cuba sent troops to fight apartheid in South Africa, Angola, Namibia, when Chavez went to the Congo? Where was your country? Huh?
the same thing. Giving
Where was your country when Chavez tried Che Guevara tried to free try to free
now you're communist.
South
Now
America?
you're
Where were they?
pro-communist. So now, so look,
I'm
man,
just saying. Where were they?
Either a right-wing creep. Like
you believe in apartheid? So you believe in apartheid then? You believe in apartheid? You believe in apartheid?
Bro.
You believe in apartheid, right?
Your strawmanning of my words is something
you believe in apartheid. So Cuba shouldn't have sent soldiers to help apartheid. You believe in apartheid, bro? Use a little pussy, bro. Use a little fucking pussy. So what are you talking about? Huh?
Individual who have no
use a little pussy, bro. Get off the channel, you little pussy. Get off the channel, use a little pussy. Get off the channel.
Donis, this is why the American people voted for Donald Trump, so we can deport immigrants like this clown. These immigrants come over here trying to sit here and try to interpret U.S. law and U.S. Constitution to benefit them. He is probably a birthright citizen baby and this is why he's upset because the family members is about to get
we know gringos
deported.
like you
We don't want you
who
here.
wants to
That's
come to
why
our
you lost.
countries
We don't
to
listen to you,
use
bro. You
pedophiles
have no
and
power. We
to
don't care, bro,
have
and you
sex
still
and that
lost.
matter
So
with
now you
kids.
gotta watch
So
your
we
people get
know
deported. Now
your
you gotta
people
watch
are
Ukraine
just
lose this
corrupt
war because we
individuals
we
who
don't
have
care
no
about you, bro.
sense of
And all this
whatsoever.
trash
Blah
talking
blah
is
blah
gonna
blah
further
blah
support us.
blah blah.
Listen,
Khalid,
we won the
shut
popular
your
vote.
fucking mouth,
You
you
lost the
gringo.
popular vote.
Just
That means
your
your
word.
argument is
Both
shit.
of you are.
That's what that means.
I
Your
don't know what
argument
the
is
fuck you're
trash.
talking.
You
Your
lost the
argument is
popular
trash.
vote. You let a man like Donald Trump win the
Again,
popular
I
vote
do
because
not
your
live in
argument
the
is
United
trash.
States,
You
dumbass.
and your family's about to get deported. Even the Latinos voted for Donald Trump.
Yo no
That's
voto
your argument can't even convince your own people. Your own people like, yep, we got some retards in our community that gotta get deported up out of here. You're losing the argument, bruh. We don't care about your flimsy interpretation of the Constitution. We see you as a traitor to this country, and that's why we're not protesting Trump, and you're gonna deal with this for the next 4 years. That's what you're gonna deal with.
8 years.
That's the
8 years,
problem
bro.
with these traitors, bro. We gotta get them the heck up out of here. And we not protesting you. They thought some Hindu woman, Kamala Harris, is gonna save them. Hell no, we got her ass the hell up out of there.
Hey,
Damn
but
traitors,
T.
get up out
Khalid,
this country.
T. Khalid,
Chiquito, ni siquiera estoy en su país, pedazo imbécil.
Hold
You
on,
gotta
hold
get
on.
these traitors up out of here, bro. For
This is
real,
not
man.
a
We got some
burrito
straight up
panel.
traitors.
This is not a burrito panel.
Me vale
But
un coño y una mierda que no
respectfully,
sea nada de eso.
we don't understand the
Andate.
gibberish.
We don't understand, so we don't speak Spanish, bro.
Yeah, we don't understand your gibberish.
Go ahead, Mulatto.
Yes, and I appreciate you passing me the mic. I just want to make 2 points. Number one, to all the blacks and all the mulattoes listening, call ICE on these Latino immigrants. Make sure their paperwork is in order.
You
If
are
their-
nothing more than
if
a
their paperwork is
worker
not in
for
order, they will
colonialists.
be sent back
You're
to
a
their
white
countries
supremacy
immediately.
agent. You,
Look how
Gilroy,
triggered.
all of
Look
you,
at how triggered.
you are an
Well,
insult
we have
to
to
our
speak one at a
skin.
time. We have to speak
No,
one at a time.
I'm stepping off because at the end I had my fun. You guys are
All right. Well, see you later, my burrito friend. See you later, Taco. All right, Taco.
You white supremacy
All right,
agent.
burrito. All right, Nacho.
Okay, gringos.
All right, my nacho friend.
Gringo, but
All right, mute up, my nacho friend.
All you gringos.
Yes. Okay, my nacho friend.
You're all alone. You know, the
All right,
world doesn't revolve around your bullshit.
Bro, why did you lose? Bro, no. Real talk. If you're so logical, if you're so intelligent, why did you lose by Trump? Why did you lose by the world's
But
quote-unquote dumbest
he don't
person?
live here,
By
though.
a
But he don't live
landslide.
here.
Listen, you had 90% of the
Please,
media.
let's have some
You
order.
had
Let me make my
90% of
second
Hollywood,
point.
and you still lost. Why?
That's a great
Why?
point.
Because your message is bullshit. That's why.
Khalik, you're an imbecile. I don't live in the United States. I never voted in the United States.
Well, why did your side lose? Your side controls the media.
I have
The people
no
who
side in
sympathize
the
with
United
you.
States.
No, you are obviously a liberal. Shut up, man. You're
But
obviously a
T.
liberal.
Khalid, hold on. The point is
You're
this.
not some independent thinker.
Slow
You are
down,
liberal.
please. One mic at a time. The point is this: we're sending more of your Latinos back to your country to fix it up. So we in the U.S. we don't owe you any of our taxes. We don't owe you any help. You need to call your cousins back. You need to call your cousins back before ICE gets them.
Sure, we know you
need
are
to call your cousins back.
pro-fascist.
That's what you
We
just do.
know you're pro-fascist, right-wing bullshit.
Yes, your defamation
you
will
don't
not
stand
work
for
against
rights.
Bro, why are we winning the argument? Like, what? Are you liberals dumb? Like, y'all call us fascists
very
and stuff,
dumb.
yet you
Very
still
dumb.
lost.
You are dumb,
because you
Khalid,
don't know
because
how to explain policy that's beneficial toward the people. That's why you lost. You think you can come to America and tell us it's okay to accept poor illegal immigrants and put them on the social system? Are you kidding me? And that's a good thing?
Hold on. Well, let's have one mic at a time. The question is this, so why aren't you fixing your Latin American slum? Why are you worried about the blacks in the U.S.?
Slums of your
Why
own
are you worried
country?
about the mulattoes in the U.S.?
Why
Why
are you
aren't you
fixing the
fixing your
slums of
Latin
your own
American
country?
slum?
Yeah, but
Why are you fixing the drug issues in your own
Let him answer that.
He's making it all bullshit now, bro. There's a lot.
let him answer that.
I'm gonna be on his side.
Is he pro-Ukraine also? Is he pro-Ukraine? Is he a pro-war liberal? One of these liberals who talk about black and brown, but then supports the United States bombing every country around the world who has black and brown people? Is that what this clown is?
I'm having fun because first, Khalik is an imbecile who assumed
Yes,
I was
but
in the
why aren't
United
you
States.
fixing your Latin American slum?
And Mulato is another imbecile
Yes,
who
but
has
why
no
aren't you
fucking clue
fixing your
what he's
slum?
talking about. He's gonna get his ass beaten
All right, but why
again
aren't you fixing
in
your
that
slum?
free game
Hold on.
couldn't even.
Before you
I don't
go,
know
No, but let
why
him
you
answer
guys
that.
No, I'm
Let him
arguing.
having
answer
This
that.
fun.
is
I'm having fun. That's it.
before you
Let him
go,
answer that.
I live rent
hold
free
on,
in your heads.
No,
before
you
you
don't.
go,
We
before you
don't care
go.
about you. I promise you. When
You
you
came
log
up.
off,
You're
we
the one who came up
won't miss
here.
you. We won't miss you.
Bro, what is your
Hold on,
position
And we
on
won't. Hold
Ukraine?
on, one
Are
mic at
you
a time.
pro peace or pro
It
arming
don't matter
Ukraine
what he
until
pro. He
that
need to be
country
pro
gets
fixing his
wiped out?
country. He
That's
needs
the
to be pro
legitimate
fixing his
question.
country.
Unlike you gringos who are in favor of war
Yes,
and
Mike,
That's the
we your
terrorism,
legitimate
friend.
No, no.
question. He
What's
won't
your
answer.
position on Trump and Vance on how
you
they handle the
guys
Ukraine president
destroy
who
the
wants to
lead.
continue
That's
the
the
war?
question.
What's
That's the
your position
question.
on that?
Just like
Why do y'all care
Khalik.
about his opinion on
Okay,
American
again,
No, no,
affairs?
bro, because we're having a conversation. What's your
But yeah,
position
let
on
him
that?
fix his country though. Let's talk about his
first,
country.
Yeah,
No,
Because
forget
that's
about
the only
fixing
opinion
country,
that
man.
well,
matters.
That's
fix
out of the
yours.
argument.
no. I
Fix
want
That's
to
not
yours.
a
know
good
his
Yes.
argument.
position.
Why
What
aren't
is
you
your
fixing?
position? If
All
you're
right, go ahead.
anti-war, what is your position on the Zelenskyy coming to the United States saying he doesn't want peace? What is your position on that?
Khalik,
Yes. What is your
if
position?
I
How do
would
you think Trump
remotely, hold
handled
on.
that?
Okay, hold on, Khalik. If I would remotely believe, because I don't believe in anything, that you are asking that in sincerity, in an honest way, I would answer. But I do not. I consider that Del Roy, you, Mulatto, and
All
Free
right.
Game
This
are
is a
being
I
sincere
don't
dishonest.
care,
question.
Back it
bro.
Why you
I
this
don't
not
guy.
think
fixing
this
your
is
country?
an
These
honest
liberals are not
conversation.
Don't
anti-war.
No,
These
ask
no.
him
Let's
any
liberals
ask
pro
him a
home
questions.
war
sincere
and pro
So in
question.
that
welfare,
sense,
man.
Don't
Hold on.
ask him any question. He can't
One mic
answer
at
it.
a time,
These
Please.
please. One
liberals
Don't
mic
are
at
ask
a
him
pro
the
time.
war
question.
and pro
All right, well,
welfare.
at least pass the
I
mic. The
consider all
question is
these
this.
four guys
Yeah,
are
yeah,
Listen,
being
yeah.
dishonest.
Let's pass the mic.
No, but
Oh,
I'm stepping off because
okay,
I
thank
understand.
all
you.
right,
Thank you.
Thank you
Burrito.
again.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Bricks, for
Goodbye.
having
Goodbye,
me.
Burrito.
Again,
Goodbye.
the free
All right,
Adios,
man. I'm getting
I
Burrito.
knew, man. I knew it. This guy was a clown. I knew it.
Adios,
But
Burrito.
Khalik, Roy, and Mulatto are nothing more than
Yeah.
Adios,
Bye.
Burrito.
charlatans who do not know what the fuck they're talking about.
Calmate,
All
No,
three
Burrito.
because
are
you got
imbeciles.
exposed. You come out here talking about
No, you got exposed.
warmongering,
Let the
but you
burrito
support
leave.
the
Let him
Ukraine
go.
Russian
Stop,
war.
Yeah,
please.
let the burrito leave. Let the
Let him
burrito
go.
Shut
leave.
up. I'm gonna
Don't
stay.
say
Yo
anything,
quiero
please.
Taco
Let him
Bell.
go.
Yo
You
quiero
shut the
Taco
fuck
Bell.
up.
Hey,
Adios.
let's stop.
Let him go.
Right. Mulatto rights. Go ahead. But let's.
Oh,
Yes,
no,
and
I'm out.
it'll be
Thank you so
brief.
much.
All right, Burrito. Adios.
But
And,
let's not call him burrito. Let's not.
well, he called us gringos, so we have a right to respond in a like fashion. But this will be brief. I do have to say this: we as mulatto Americans and Black Americans, we allow foreigners in our spaces, and we allow them to derail us and consume our time. So I'll make this very brief. As I said initially, we as U.S. citizens, we as U.S. taxpayers, we owe foreign nations nothing. We don't owe them anything. So I suggest that we as U.S. citizens contact the Supreme Court, contact the president of the U.S. His number is listed publicly. You could call his office, call the vice president, call Congress and Senate, and demand a ban on all U.S. tax revenue being allocated to foreign aid. Additionally, every potential illegal alien that you encounter, report them to ICE. If you know locations where illegal aliens like to congregate, report them to ICE. If we don't do this, and I'll say this in closing, if we don't do this, then our descendants won't have any more Black American or mulatto American communities to grow up in. And we'll be doing them a disservice if we allow the Black American communities and the mulatto American communities that we still have that have not been gentrified, if we allow them to be eradicated, then we have to realize that we are participants in blasphemy. But thanks for having me up, Search for Huru. Much love to you, fam. And
No
peace
problem.
to the panel.
Yeah, no problem. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, Search for Huru. Peace.